On the bottom of the screen. I know the information's right. Is that really how you say it?
What am I looking at?
Our screen with our show on it. You see me and you?
Yeah.
What does it say above our head? Do you see what it said?
It said,
Giannis is a Heat. Is that actually what it is?
yeah, how would you
I don't know.
say it
I would
otherwise?
never say it. Would you ever say that in real life? Would you go up to someone and go, guys, you hear the news? Giannis is a Heat.
Yeah, but you would say Giannis is a Buck.
You would.
So why can't you say Giannis is a Heat?
Because it doesn't feel right.
It does,
I would
no,
probably
it-
say on the Heat.
I'd say on the Heat. I'd say Giannis is on the Heat.
Yeah, but that seems awkward too. Like whenever somebody gets dealt, you don't go, oh, guess what? Giannis is on the Heat. You say Giannis is a Heat. But just you're right. Neither sound okay.
That word isn't how you. That's not what you do, though. Can you use the word Heat like that? He's a Heat. No, because
why is it any different? I'm not being sarcastic.
I don't know. Okay, so I'll tell you why.
Giannis is a Buck.
Because is a Buck. You're saying a Buck because the team is a plural of the Bucks.
But all right, let me ask you this:
Heat isn't an actual plural word.
Is it just as awkward if he got traded to Orlando? Giannis is a Magic?
Yes. Exactly.
Doesn't seem as awkward.
Not
though.
as bad, but it's bad. Giannis is a Magic? I wouldn't say that. I'd go, what's wrong with you? Why'd you say that? And I'm not even saying any of this to criticize whoever did it or anything. I think it's fine.
I just don't know
I just
what the right
understand it.
answer is. Because On doesn't seem right either. On is kind of like how if my mom found out about the trade. Giannis is on the Heat. I'd be like, no, he's not. He's on the Bucks. Oh, he just got traded. Well, On doesn't work. There's I don't think there's literally any other way to say it unless you said Giannis is in Miami.
No, you could say.
But then you could say, well, was he vacationing there?
Giannis traded to Heat.
That, you know what? Thank you, Anthony.
Who says that in real life? Did you hear the news? What? Giannis traded to Heat.
But that would be the title that you'd put on a YouTube page.
Well, is that what
it makes sense. You know why this makes sense, people? Because the whole Giannis thing has been awkward from the get-go.
Right, it's perfect.
I don't want to be in Milwaukee. I don't want to be part of a rebuild. I want to be on the Knicks. But not man enough to say it, but everybody knows it, right? But it's all on the QT, even though everybody in the world knows he wants to be a Knick. Well, now he's not going to be a Knick. Now he's going to be on the Heat. That makes sense because I'm talking about him being on the Heat now. And now back to a rebuild because it's still going to take a while for the Heat to get going when you've got draft picks in 31 and 33. This is how old I am. When I used to work at the pharmacy, and this was back, I started working at the pharmacy in 85. So as we're getting into the 90s.
If it was a day.
Because I worked there till 96. So in 95, 96, there were some drugs that expired in 2000. And I'd look at it, oh my God. 2000. Imagine that. Imagine it being 2000. So I'm hearing draft picks in 31 and 33, and I'm like, it's not really that far away because it is. Next year will be the 26-27 season, but
it's still far.
But Miami got picks in 31 and 33. So guess what, Giannis? You're back at a rebuild. Now it's a lot more pleasant. You're in Miami, right? You're in South Beach. I can't think of a better place to rebuild. But it's just interesting.
South Beach.
That it's.
You're here in South Beach.
But here it is. And, of course, this is the lead. Is the big story. You probably woke up to it this morning. We knew Giannis was going to get dealt. Didn't feel like it was going to be the Heat. And, by the way, Alan Hahn not here today. We're hoping to get him on to talk about Giannis, but he's doing our coverage of the draft from Brooklyn today and tomorrow.
Can I ask you a question about the self-same Alan Hahn you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Alan was definitive about it not being a Brad Stevens kind of move for Boston,
right?
Which I appreciate because I didn't want him to go to Boston. I don't want Jaylen Brown to be traded. But I also feel like he was poo-pooing all the trade ideas yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah, he actually said it was on the table that he stays in Milwaukee and they try to work it out.
So because what I'm really trying to say here about my friend Alan Hahn is, you saw when the text came in today, when the news came in, Anthony or Jake sent the text, the trade is done.
Right.
Alan's response was, see, told you, didn't go to Boston. And I went, you kind of said he wasn't going anywhere yesterday.
Yeah.
And he went to Miami.
Can't take a victory lap, not even half a lap.
No. Like, I mean,
Actually,
yes,
you should do a push-up.
you're right. He didn't go to Boston, but you also said he wasn't going anywhere.
You can't hang on the rim when you were half right and half wrong.
The trade happened. If he had said to us yesterday, I'll tell you what, I think he's going to Miami. Now we're having a conversation.
But there was a lot of people didn't think he was going to go to Miami, that he was going to go to Boston, and this is good news for the Knicks. This is the conversation we have to have. And the Nets made a deal, too. We'll get into that, and all the Yankees and the Mets of it all. And there'll be no supplemental draft, so Jets don't have to, or Jet fans don't have to worry about will they take a quarterback or not take a quarterback in Sorsby. It looks like because of his gambling allegations, they're not even going to have a supplemental draft, which they sometimes don't. It's been a while since they had the last one. So he's not coming to the NFL. He's got to go back to college, and so it makes it moot whether he can be a part of this team. Geno Smith's still under investigation. It's crazy. Just being a Jet quarterback is hazardous to your health and your career. But the reason the Giannis stuff is big is because, again, I think the Knicks catch another break. Whatever they need to happen during this run has happened. And even with this, because I'm not telling you to be scared of the Celtics with Giannis, but they become a legitimate threat.
Sure.
All right? And then wherever, Jaylen Brown going back to Milwaukee or going to Milwaukee in the deal could make them better. But now you've got the Bucks in rebuild. You've got the Boston admitting they're not as good as the Knicks. What are they going to do? And is Jaylen Brown going to be a part of it? And is it something they can do immediately, or is it something like Miami thinking more about the future than the now? It really helps the Knicks that Giannis didn't end up in Boston. And I think this is the perfect place because, as Brian Windhorst said on Get Up today, it could take the Heat a year to build up the roster after this trade.
The way that this trade was executed, they are now hard capped. When I say they've got $18 million to spend, it's not cap space. Everything. Not just cap space, exceptions, everything. They got $18 million. So what they have to do to be able to fill out their roster, they have to make a deal with Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins has a $30 million player option. They want to say, Andrew, do not pick that up. Let's work out a deal that starts less than $30 million so that you build yourself a little bit of extra space on that $18 million. The Powell thing is important. Norm Powell was an all-star this season. He is an unrestricted free agent. Now, if you're out there, you're thinking, well, Norm Powell they're not going to be able to afford to have him go back. So they're probably going to lose him. First off, they're going to be a great defensive team because when you look at Bam Adebayo, they're going to keep Wiggins. You keep Giannis. Those are three excellent defenders. Davion Mitchell is a good defender. They're not going to be able to keep Norman Powell, and that is not a good shooting lineup. Wiggins can shoot, but the rest of them can't. So they're going to have to go in and just keep this in mind. Again, they have $18 million. Even minimum veterans are $3.5, $4 million. You don't even have much wiggle room to add a bunch of minimum veterans. But the Heat are a very shrewd front office. None of this is catching them by surprise. They knew exactly what they were going to do, and now they were going to have to plan. But it would not surprise me if it takes a year for them to truly build this roster after this trade.
All right, so now Miami isn't a threat next year. Boston is scrambling to try to do something. As Windy was on TMKS, he was making the rounds about the Celtics still looking to move Brown.
I think they're going to listen to other offers. Now, they're not going to get a Giannis. There will not be a top 5-6 player coming back for Jaylen Brown. That was one of the reasons why they did it. But that doesn't mean that they can't get 2 or 3 players who can really help them and can get them close. Frankly, from my understanding, not only did they not think that they were good enough, they didn't think they could compete with the Knicks. They thought even if Jason Tatum was healthy, they thought the Knicks were going to boat race them.
See, the last part of that is interesting. Do you buy that? Now, you're a Celtics guy. I believe the Knicks were going to beat all comers. Now, I don't think they would have swept the Celtics. I do think the Knicks made short work of the teams, but no matter who they played, whether it was going to be Detroit instead of Cleveland, whether it was going to be Boston instead of Philadelphia, they were going to win the series. But boat race, do you think they would have boat raced them, Peter?
No, I don't think so. But I do think this version of the Celtics this year was not all the way right. It looked so great when Tatum came back, and then in retrospect, you saw there was something that was not altogether right about this version of the Celtics. So I do think the Knicks would have won no matter what, though.
No, I agree, but the fact that Windy is saying they believe they were going to get boat raced. So no disrespect to your opinion, and I agree with you.
No, the Celtics
were saying they thought they were going to get boat raced, and that they've got to make serious changes to their team for that not to happen. So you've got what I think many people believe. Going into next season, the Celtics are the biggest threat to them to repeat, to go back to the finals. They believe they'd get boat raced.
First of all, I'm uncomfortable with how much we're using the phrase boat race.
Well, it's
become a recent thing. But I remember the first time Alan said it, I was like, where did boat race come from? But here it is.
Where does anything come from?
It's a great point. Yeah, the part that I don't understand with the Celtics is why they think the issue or the piece that then should move is one of the guys who led them to a championship. They're very different. They don't have Al Horford. They don't have Kristaps Porzingis. There are a bunch of pieces that are different.
If you're not good enough and you've got to get better and you've got to give to get, who else could you give?
Well, Derek White is out there. Maybe Derek White's a piece you talk about moving.
But doesn't that tell you that if they believe the only way to get better is to trade, like literally, their first or second best player? Because I guess it's between Tatum and Brown.
But it doesn't seem like Tatum's ever been on the table.
Right. So, but if you have to move Brown to do it, that's pretty significant.
Yeah, to me that means you believe whatever you have isn't close.
Right, because you're going to have to make a blockbuster deal. So that's why I think as a Knicks fan you have to feel good. You felt good anyway about your chances of at least repeating as Eastern Conference champions. But you were wondering, okay, Boston's still there. They've got championship pedigree. They got two of the better players in the league. And if they end up getting Giannis, even at the expense of Brown, they get better. Well, he ends up going to a team in Miami that still may take another year for them to get going. Where's Detroit right now? I still think Detroit can be a threat.
You mean Detroit?
Because Detroit is like San Antonio. What did they learn from losing? And can now they benefit from that? Because they've lost, to the Knicks in the first round, put up a fight against Cleveland. That's a bad loss as a 1 seed. I think Detroit's a legitimate threat. Is Orlando ready to take a gargantuan next step? I don't believe in Cleveland. Do you?
How can you? Because I don't see what they're doing different. And, you talk about boat raced.
And now you got Indiana that beat you last year and now get Halliburton back, plus pretty significant pick in this in the draft tonight, right? So where do you put Indiana? Is Indiana with Detroit? Is Indiana behind or ahead of Boston right now?
Yeah, because you have to believe that Indiana comes back with Halliburton, whoever they draft tonight. They're essentially close to being the team they were when they went to the finals 2 years ago. Why aren't they in the conversation?
Not only to the finals, Peter.
Within a game of winning.
They went to Game 7 against the Thunder.
The unbeatable Thunder.
So, but you still, right, you got to feel good if you're a Knicks fan. And the draft is tonight, and you'll be able to hear that on, I believe, 1050 ESPN New York tonight. And the app will also have the draft as well. Nothing like a draft after you win a championship, Peter.
Why?
Nothing like, because every I can't guarantee this, but I know it happens in the other sports because I don't have a team that's won an NBA championship because I don't have an NBA team per se. But every general manager, when they step up and make their selection, have to congratulate the New York Knicks on their run to the championship.
That's right.
Well, first of all, we'd like to congratulate Jim Dolan and the New York Knicks on their run to their first championship in 53 years. You're going to hear that maybe at least 20 times during the first round. We'd like to congratulate the Knicks on winning the NBA championship. And because it's in Brooklyn, everybody's going to be like, woo, yeah.
It does hit different.
Yeah, so that you got that to look forward to.
I have great news. Don, I'm going to tell you something. I don't want you to look at your phone. Just let me read it to you. It's going to make you outright sports horny when I read it to you.
But I'm going to?
Yeah, you're going to feel so great. Becky Hammon has spoken.
Okay, this is interesting. But you
give me music and I don't know what.
I love it. Let's hear it.
All right, it works. Becky Hammon said, Jaylen, all he did was prove history wrong. He proves he's an outlier. So you could put his name next to Steph Curry and Isaiah Thomas, and I thought he played brilliantly, especially down the stretch. I mean, he was that 1A dude. But apologize. I'm never going to apologize for having an opinion. That's what ESPN pays me for.
Yeah. I love it. What are you apologizing for? She's paid to give an opinion. I didn't like, it was kind of a little snarky about, I'm not wrong. She proved history wrong, or he proved history wrong. It sounded like she wasn't really prepared to own it. But at the end, she did own it. And I'm just not a believer in apologizing for having an opinion. That's what we get paid to do.
But I hear what she's saying. She's saying proved history wrong, meaning history tells you that type of guy can't lead to a championship. Right. It's happened a few times. And now he's another outlier. That's what she's saying.
Well,
but she's not going to change her opinion that it doesn't happen with that type of player.
It is funny. She kind of gave another opinion in saying that he's an outlier. Because maybe we're trending into seeing more of that now in the NBA, right? Where she was right about history, but for all we know, winning with a smallish guard could be the way or the key to winning in the future. But anyway, I would say something, I'd have an opinion, I'd be proven wrong, and then all the callers would call, you going to apologize? No, you don't apologize for having an opinion. You were wrong. And how you own it is, hey, I was wrong. That's the punishment. I put my name on every single opinion, and if it's wrong, everybody knows it. And if you want to beat me up for it, fine. But apologize, that to me is just stupid. You're supposed to have an opinion, but you give an opinion. I thought Stephen A. was ridiculous apologizing to the Knicks. He had an opinion. He gets paid to give opinions, and if anybody's ever paid attention to Stephen A., he's given an opinion every 5 seconds.
That's right.
And that's what he's paid to do, and that's why he makes millions of dollars to having opinions. And nobody's batting 1,000. And when you get it wrong, you own it. Put it around my neck like a necklace. I am going to wear it. But apologize for it?
Why?
You get me, right? I've been doing this for years, so good for her. She was wrong.
She just won a fan. She just got a fan in Donald Marco LaGreca.
Well, I love people that are just, hey, I'm paid to give my opinion, and I gave it. Julius Randle is a Brooklyn Net.
Welcome back, Julius.
Claxton, you gave up a player, but you got Randle, who's better. You moved up in the draft. You got a better pick. You got the 14th pick, right, in the draft. So you got, 6 and 14 they're drafting. So they got a pick, and they add salary, but they still are under the cap. So I like this for the Nets. I think it's a good, solid move to kind of move forward. And it's nice to have Julius back.
We love Julius. And really, with respect to Claxton, you didn't give up a lot there to get back at least a guy who, listen, I don't think anyone thinks the Nets are a piece away. But in Julius Randle, you get a lunch pail guy every day. Don, he's giving you 20 points every night, 10 boards. He's working hard every night. He's a good piece to have. He's a solid piece to add to this team.
I was incorrect. I was corrected by a few people on Twitter. Mikey and Jason, Indiana traded their pick to L.A., to the Clippers, so they don't have that pick. I had said that they got a pick for what felt like tanking, but they traded it away. So
Becky Hammon went on to say more.
But I apologize.
Let me piss off Knicks fans again and say I think he's the greatest Knick ever. Give them something else to talk about. I've always been a Jalen Brunson fan. I was a fan of his at Villanova and Dallas, and why this comment went off the rails, I have no idea, because it was clearly historical and an analytical take. You think that's her? Is she cleaning up, Don?
Well, is she trying to win over hearts and minds with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, just so you don't completely hate me for not apologizing, I think he's the best Knick ever.
Well, and there also may be a part of her that feels like I don't want him to feel offended, so let me just put that out there for him. I've always been a fan. It wasn't about you. It was simply about the situation.
I don't understand fans sometimes. Like, I get Jaylen being offended by it and using it as fuel. But whether it was because he was a smallish guard, there wasn't any Knicks fans thinking a championship was coming here when they signed him. Are they apologizing to each other?
Right.
You're going to have opinions, and that's just the way things are going to be. But so we got the draft, and again, coverage will be on 1050. Have we heard back from Allen? Because we were trying to book Allen.
How's 4 o'clock?
All right.
I'm not mad at that. 4 o'clock's not bad.
No, it sounds good.
Because we want to get his opinion on the deal. And if he wants to hang on the rim for him not being in Boston, but then we're going to have to get on him for being in Miami. I didn't think he was going to go to Miami either, but it did get done. So he's got the draft coverage on 1050 coming up at 7 o'clock. It'll also be on the ESPN app as the draft is a 2-day vehicle now. So we will finally put the finishing touches on the NBA season, and we'll see if there are going to be any more deals that are going to come down. We are going to hear from Alan Hahn coming up at 4 o'clock. We've got to get into Lollipop-Gate. Yes. Believe it or not, it's a conversation. And
I haven't heard the Boone response yet.
And Boone has responded to Lollipop-Gate.
How big a deal was Lollipop-Gate in the moment?
And Shimon Nemitz has just been traded to the Calgary Flames, according to Anthony. Shimon. He was a restricted free agent, and keeping Dougie Hamilton and Nemitz was going to be tough from a salary cap perspective. So I'm not surprised, and we'll see what they get.
Listen,
in return.
it doesn't have anything.
We got all the details there.
It doesn't have to do anything with it, but I'm going to need to get my Sheloff Skinner drops ready when we mention hockey trade.
I think you should just play it whenever.
All right, I want to have them ready though. Make sure I'm ready at any moment.
He still mocks us, Don. It's okay.
What? What do you mean? Skinner. It's going to be the new thing now.
Yeah.
She loves Skinner. Yeah. She loves Skinner. It's our thing.
All right. Wow. Looks like there's a lot of
pieces on this, Don.
There's a lot going on here.
So it's Elliot, our good friend Elliot Friedman up north. Says Nemec and Siplikov for the Rangers' second that, of course, Calgary had this year. Vegas is first in 2027 and Colorado's first in 2028. Both top 10 protected and Etienne Morin.
Yeah. She loves Skinner.
So he was the second overall pick in the draft, Nemec, so he is now gone. Elliot Friedman is also reporting that the NHL is going to kick the tires on Houston or Austin for expansion. We've got 32 teams already. What are we doing?
Wait. They're already at 32?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do more.
Well,
you can't.
Here's the
There's
problem.
no room.
Here is the problem. You can't do 34 because then you'll have
17.
Then you have an odd number in each conference, which means then you're going to have to go to 36. What are we doing? We already got every American player not wanting to go to Canada. They're all looking to try to get traded back to the States. You know, how many teams are you going to have? The NHL is going to have 36 teams? Baseball still only has 30. Basketball still only has 30. The NFL's got 32. And they're going to have 30. Again, they won't go to 36 right away, but they won't stay at 34. I don't know. There's a lot to talk about for sure. The Sorsby of it all, no supplemental draft, so the Jets are not going to get him unless they wait till the 27 draft. So there's a lot to get to today. At 4:30, talk about it Tuesday. 6 o'clock, it's going to be ENN. But your thoughts on the Giannis deal and how it may help the Knicks repeat. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg just getting started on a Tuesday here on ESPN New York.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
I've waited a lifetime for this.
It's happening, Knicks fans. It's happening.
I'm now living the dream.
And a team that will live forever. Next stop, the Canyon of Heroes. The New York Knicks are NBA champions.
DiPietro and Rothenberg. Morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Hey, New York, are you okay to drive? Did you know that driving under the influence isn't just limited to drinking alcohol? Cannabis, prescription drugs, and street drugs can all impair your ability to think and react behind the wheel. Drugs, alone or combined with alcohol, can cause poor coordination and lack of focus. Don't put your life on the line or take someone else's away. Cabs, rideshare, or public transportation are at your fingertips. The New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee is reminding you to make a safe choice. Always drive sober.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. That's how Prime members have saved over $2 billion on grocery and household items. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
The World's Game at BetMGM is here. Bet on the soccer showdowns with 2-up early payouts so that if you're up 2, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Place a pregame, straight match result bet on any tournament game. If at any point your team is up by 2 goals, you'll instantly win your bet. Then enjoy BetMGM's same-game parlays, daily promotions, player props, and so much more for the World's Game. Don't miss your shot at an early win with 2-up early payout to get paid out if at any point your team is up by 2 goals, regardless of the final outcome of the match. Make it a tournament to remember with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus years of age to wager and physically present in New York only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Additional terms and restrictions may apply.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
Hey, Yankees fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Monday, July 20th, when the Yankees host the Pittsburgh Pirates, and be ready to receive a traditional Yankees giveaway. It's Yankees T-shirt night, presented by Sato. The first 15,000 guests will receive a Yankees T-shirt. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. Again, don't miss the Yankees and Pirates for Yankees T-shirt night presented by Sato on Monday, July 20th. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Hey there, guys. Good afternoon. We've got a messy ride on the LIE in Queens. First on the westbound side, a crash in the left lane by Junction Boulevard. Bumper to bumper there and backed up to Parsons Boulevard. Eastbound, still have some road work in the right lane by Springfield Boulevard. You're solid there from the BQE. Inbound, George, more construction on the upper deck. About a 15 to 20-minute ride using 8095. Heading over to the outbound, George, best of it right now. West Side Highway and Henry Hudson. Cross Bronx westbound. Already a long line of brake lights from the Bruckner on through. Outbound Lincoln and Holland tunnels are only about 10 to 15 minutes each. This report is sponsored by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Well, the PCA can help. It's a national nonprofit developing better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. More info at positivecoach.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
This Father's Day, do more with Dad and spend less with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Get him fired up with a new grill and accessories, like the Next Grill 5-burner for just $299, so you can spend more time together while he becomes the grill master he was always meant to be. Or build memories with savings on top brand power tools so you can tackle projects side by side. Gift more and do more together this Father's Day with help from the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See HomeDepot.com/price match for details.
When we started Oakland Roots Sports Club, we needed a strong foundation. Gusto has had our back since day one, making sure every hire, every paycheck, and every player is taken care of. They're the team behind our team. With Gusto, we stay rooted and give Oakland the love it deserves. I'm Idris Argandawal, co-founder of Oakland Roots and Gusto customer since 2018.
See why 500,000 businesses trust Gusto for payroll, HR, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com/roots.
Plenty to get to, lots of calls as well on the Giannis deal and how it affects the Knicks at 1-800-919-3776. But Anthony Pusick has something to tell you.
Oh, thank you, Don. Hi, Peter. And all of you.
Hello.
You're going to want to hear this one.
Sure
This
will.
summer, all lines lead to Champs Sports Fan Central Station, a soccer pop-up shop open right in the heart of the city at 125 West 33rd Street. Peter, this is the soccer destination in New York.
Talk to me.
Yeah, jerseys for every national team you ride with. USA, Mexico, Argentina, Brazil. I'm sure they got a Ronaldo jersey laying around there somewhere from Portugal, and way more, all under one roof. If you want to gear up, rep your country, and feel the energy of the city, Champs Sports Fan Central Station, 125 West 33rd Street. That is where you need to be. And Knicks fans, didn't forget about you either. They have championship gear to celebrate your team's first title in 53 years.
1-800-919-3776. So Giannis goes to Miami. Brian Windhorst already on record saying it's going to take Miami a year to kind of get going. So Giannis ends up in a place that's not going to immediately impact the Knicks. You got Windy also saying that Boston thought they would have gotten crushed by the Knicks if they faced them this year and need to make serious changes to compete with the Knicks. You know, Detroit, good, but are they great? Cavaliers good, but are they great? Will Halliburton, after not playing for a year, be able to get Indiana back to where they were on the verge of a championship last year? Orlando, where do you stand with them? Are they ready to make the next step? People believe that they're a good young team, but I don't know if they're ready to compete for a championship. Things just getting better and better for the Knicks. 1-800-919-3776. We start the day off with Phil in Queens. You're on ESPN New York. Hi, Phil.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
It's all going.
Just wanted to say, the Knicks winning the championship has everybody in shambles right now, man. I mean, like Wendy said, it's going to take at least a year for the Miami Heat to gel, to mesh, and they're probably going to add some few pieces. Boston can't beat us the way they are. The Nets are getting Randle back, which I don't mind. But I just think, if I was going to ask, is there any way, do you think we can convince LeBron to come to New York for at least a year? I mean,
for what?
I don't know how much money we have, but why not, right?
But why? Why not? Why?
Yeah.
I don't. You have the roster. I mean, there's nothing really to improve. You don't need him. Why? I just don't know why you feel like you'd want to be able to bring him in. You'd be doing him the favor more than yourself the favor.
Well, yeah, I mean, we are going to lose a few key pieces, right? I mean, we are going to lose Mitch. I don't think we're going to re-sign Mitch. We are going to lose Clarkson. We are going to need some more bench players. I'm not saying he's going to come off the bench, but we'll see. I mean, I was just thinking maybe he wants to win one more, and we probably have the easiest road. So
it's a fun thought for you. I don't see what role he comes in. I don't know what role he immediately takes, and he also immediately changes the chemistry of the team completely. It's you can't have Jalen Brunson can't be the same Jalen Brunson if LeBron James is on the team. It's just not how it works.
It's hard, even at his advanced age, not to all of a sudden become about him.
It has to.
But after thinking about it, because I was not expecting him, Phil, to go there.
You didn't know.
As a fan, is there a part of you who goes, wow, it would be kind of cool all those years of needing him, and now he needs us?
It's a fun thought, but enough that you'd want to tinker with this that much?
I don't want to tinker with it. I think he's too powerful a personality.
He's too good a player. You can't just he's the greatest. He's a top 5 player of all time. He doesn't just show up and not change everything.
Yeah, and I just don't know why you'd want to be doing him any favors. I still believe he was trolling. People have told me no. I still will go to my grave believing he chose the Greenwich Boys Club to make the announcement. A stone's throw away from their practice facility to troll the Knicks. And I don't think a Knicks fan should ever forgive him for that. And right now, you don't need LeBron James.
Yeah,
he needs you. Why do you feel like you got to do him a favor? And if you go out there and win, Peter's right. As much as it's Brunson's team, you're bringing in LeBron James, man. Yeah, there'll be some retooling that have to get done. And hasn't Leon Rose and the power trust that you have with the Knicks convinced you that whatever moves they're going to need to make, that they're going to do their best and probably get it right again? The one thing he did say that I thought made sense, yeah, the East is in shambles, man. They're trying to figure out a way to beat the Knicks. Think about that, Knicks fans. All the years of not being able to win a championship, you now have set the standard
crazy
to where the rest of the conference is scrambling to try to figure you out. How do we beat the Knicks? Boston is looking to trade one of their best players because they know they can't beat the Knicks. Blockbuster deals being made left and right here, trying to figure out how do we beat the Knicks. I really believe the biggest, right at this moment, unless something else happens, the biggest obstacle for the Knicks repeating is what comes out of the West. You cannot convince me right now that any of these teams in the East would beat the Knicks, but could I see the Spurs bouncing back? Wemby a year older, learn from their mistakes. Thunder get healthier, go back, trying to win 2 championships in 3 years. That to me is the biggest threat, and that still has to feel pretty good if you're a Knicks fan.
Also, I got bad news.
Where? In what sense?
Any of our listeners who are big fans of the Uzbeki national team, 5-0 loss to Portugal today. Ronaldo got off the snide, becomes the first man to score in 6 World Cups. Do the math on that, Don.
So how old was he?
5 years old. He was
94.
He was 5 years old in the first one. No, he wasn't. It wasn't 94.
When was his first one?
2002.
He's like, what, 36?
Let's do the math. He's got to be closer to 40.
He's younger than Messi, isn't he?
No, can't be anymore. 41, bro. 41, bro. Yeah, it takes him back to 17. So he was 17 in 02.
That's amazing.
When Brazil won.
It's the three soccer players that Marco knows. He knows Mbappe, he knows Ronaldo, and he knows Messi. And he was kind of hurt to find out that Ronaldo it's not his last name, it's his middle name.
Really?
Yeah. But I will tell you, no offense to Mbappe or Messi, Ronaldo, good-looking man.
Oh. I think he'll end up being the worst player of the three. And that's like, you know. What's the comp, Don? I mean, it's the being the worst of the three. I mean, it's like, well, you know, the worst Charlie's Angel. I don't know what the comp is here.
Yeah, the ugliest Charlie's Angel. That's I guess even when we joke about it, like the worst Beatle.
Yeah, no, but even more so because there is a worse. I mean, I'm sorry, I know he's your guy, but most average people.
All right, let's take Ringo out. All right,
of the first three.
I mean, no, but I'm saying so it's George.
It's George. You're still George.
And nothing wrong being George.
My sweet Lord.
George, he was the first to break out solo.
That's right.
And destroyed it.
By the way,
amazing.
And then had a hit. I've got my mind set on you all the way up in like 1989. Kept the hits coming.
So if Ronaldo's George, it's not a bad place to be.
No, it's like, hey.
That's the comp, right?
It's, hey, I went to a party last night. I met Miss January, Miss February, and Miss March. Well, who was the worst one? I don't know, March. They're all great. It was great.
Now, are you ready to say, modern, are we going all of soccer? Like, are they better than Pele?
Well, that's the interesting thing. I feel like Pele in a weird way, and this would be maybe fun to have a gunling spot sometime during the World Cup to discuss this. Do Pele and Maradona end up becoming sort of like, you know, Ruth and Mantle in that, like, they're obviously just untouchably great, but like, is Messi really not better than either of them? I mean, the guy has 18 goals in the World Cup now. These guys have been dominating for 25 years. I don't know. I really don't know. Or was Pele literally on a different level than everybody ever of all time? I don't know. I never got to watch Pele play. And now that we've brought it up, Richard is going to call, and he's going to tell us Cosmos stories for 20 minutes. See what we did?
Yeah.
By bringing up Pele? Peter, nothing was bigger than when Pele came to the Cosmos.
So since Hollywood has completely run out of ideas, and when they eventually do remake Victory, who was the soccer player? Because Pele was in the original Victory with Sylvester Stallone. You ever see that movie? Like
Never did.
I think it was right after maybe 79. They're in a prison camp, and they start up a soccer team. And Sylvester Stallone, he's like me. He's like, he's more like Michael. I don't understand this soccer. So they make him the goalie. And Pele's on the team. So if they remake that movie, who
came out
in there?
Came out in 81, I'm told.
81. Okay. So yeah, it was.
So you're telling me it's the longest yard for soccer?
Yes.
I think at this point it would be. Turn off your TV, Don, quick. It's Jameis Winston being a yo-yo on the microphone.
It's not like, it's more like The Great Escape, in the sense that it's during wartime. They're in a
so it's almost like a league of their own.
But they also had Gronk and Edelman earlier in the week, so it's not just Jameis. They're taking the entire ESPN, Fox, NFL crew and making them a part of this thing.
I know, Jameis tries so hard.
He's really growing on me, though.
Oh, no, he's, as a guy, Jameis?
Yeah.
No, he's clearly a good guy and a likable guy. It's
listen, and he impressed me last year, too.
When he played?
No,
he's a good player.
Yeah.
Every time I look up and he's doing something in a crowd, you know what he is? Like, what Don, how Don talks about the guy who shows up at the party and just, like, yells cannonball? And
right.
He's that guy.
Yeah,
like, why every time, like, I don't really hear Jameis Winston talk a lot. I just see features. Why is he never having a conversation? Why is it dancing and jumping and throwing?
No, he communicates with his body.
Yeah, he's like never just like standing there on a microphone.
But all right, let's just try to stay on topic, which was off topic.
Yeah.
So who would be the goal?
I think
it'd be
Messi.
Ronaldo.
No, I think Messi is now the one.
But I just think that Ronaldo's the better looking guy. I think Holly would like him.
But I thought but Pele,
he seems more likely to do it.
But I thought the point you were trying to ask is who's the greatest?
No, but
you don't mean just who's the greatest. You mean
was Pele the greatest, or was just Pele had personality?
No, Pele was the greatest.
Better than Maradona?
I think it's seen that way.
I know he's not like Beckham, where it was more looks than actual play. I don't know. I'm ignorant to the subject of soccer. I'm going
to just pontificate off the top of my head. The debate over who's better between Pele and Maradona, it's one of football's greatest arguments, honestly. Pitting Pele's unmatched achievements and goal-scoring consistency against Maradona's spectacular individual brilliance and flair. Deciding who's better ultimately comes down to whether you value a player's trophy-laden legacy or their singular transformative genius on the pitch. Pele dominates in goal contributions and major titles. Maradona captivated fans with his incredible playmaking. So it sounds like physically Maradona was more of the freak. Pele was the one who dominated.
Well, listen, I'm not adverse to having these kind of conversations. I'm just limited in what I can contribute to it. But I'm asking, who would be in the reboot of Victory, which you know is coming? And I'll tell you when it's going to. Yeah, I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm going to tell you.
I've never even heard of it.
Mark my words. Go look at IMDb. Watch the trailer. We'll watch it together during the break.
I want to urinate.
I'm going to guarantee you something. If the U.S. makes a run, I guarantee you within a year they'll remake Victory.
You mean like a big run, like to the final, maybe?
Well, that's asking too much.
Semifinal.
If they get to what is it? So if they get out of the pool, that's the round of 32.
If they get out of 32, they're in the quarters. They've been to the quarters once before.
I don't.
Semis would be the one they've never done before. Semis would be, oh my God.
It is a lock. If they get to the semis, they're within a year, within 18 months, they will remake Victory. I'm telling you, it was a good movie. It wasn't that it was big. It's just that it doesn't have to be big to be remade. I like Point Break. Was Point Break big? No, but they remade it. They literally out of ideas. There's screenwriters and directors that are bopping each other on the head. They don't know which way to go anymore. They've completely dried up. I'm telling you, Victory's coming back. We're going to be on the air, and you'll be like, Don.
Wow, it happened.
Guess what?
It happened.
Variety just tweeted.
It's official.
Reboot of Victory with Mbappe.
Get her! All right, I'm going to watch the trailer during the break.
All right, Alan Hahn coming up at 4 o'clock. We've got Talk About It Tuesday at 4:30, ENN at 6. Lots to get into. Take up the Mets baseball at 6:30 on ESPN New York.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
I've waited a lifetime for this.
It's happening, Knicks fans. It's happening.
I'm now living the dream.
And a team that will live forever. Next stop, the Canyon of Heroes. The New York Knicks are NBA champions.
Champions.
DiPietro and Rothenberg. Morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
I'll adopt a cat.
Just a cat, Sean? This is a New York lottery win we're talking about.
I'd get the ultra-rare, hairless cat known as the Minskin.
Then?
I'd turn my garage into a rescue menagerie for all furless felines.
And when that gets too full?
I'll purchase land in the Catskills for them to sunbathe in hairless abandon.
Only cats.
All hair-free animals looking to roam in bald, beautiful peace.
Can I come?
Do you have hair?
New York Lottery. Can you imagine? Play today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
When I need a ride I can actually count on, I call Broadway Elite Limousine. It's who I use, and yeah, I'm not just partnering with anyone for my rides, because whether it's a night out, a trip to the airport, or a corporate event, or even getting a group where they need to go, Broadway Elite makes it easy for me, and they can do the same for you. Clean vehicles, professional drivers, and they're always buttoned up. That's why I trust Broadway Elite Limousine. Book your next ride at BroadwayElite.com. Broadway Elite Limousine. Arrive like a pro.
This is the Michael K. Show.
All the genius that we thought that David Stearns was, right? Maybe, just maybe, it wasn't him with Milwaukee because they haven't skipped a beat without him. At some point, when does he get blamed? Because now I think there's going to be a lot of spotlight on the Mets and how bad they are because there's no Knicks to distract you. The Mets are a terribly put together team.
The Michael K. Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code BALANCE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code BALANCE to borrow up to $10,000. Use code BALANCE to borrow up to $10,000.
This is Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York.
Giannis is walking into Miami to play in South Beach.
This is a great day for the Knicks. Him ending up in Miami as opposed to Boston, God bless you. Who is shooting for them right now? This is a best-case scenario for the Knicks.
To me, that still doesn't put them above the Knicks. It doesn't put them above the Pistons. It doesn't put them above Boston. It doesn't put them above the Indiana Pacers.
Bart Scott, Chris Carlin, weekdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah. She loves.
Skinner.
Soccer fans join R.J. Santillo and Ray Santiago of DiPietro and Rothenberg this Monday, June 29th, for a watch party presented by Rothenberger Pilsner. I guess the first went over so well, they're doing it again.
You can't get enough Santiago and Santillo.
Oh, this is the third?
This is the third.
Oh, now it's become a thing. Now, you know what? Now it's gone from a thing to a thing. It's a thing.
It's a full-on thing now, you think?
It's a whole-on thing. Watch the 4:30 match at the, I don't know how to pronounce this, Ainslie?
Ainsley.
All right. Maybe I should have known that. I'm not sure. Bowery on the Lower East Side. Enjoy Pilsner perfection since 1872 from the first German Pilsner. Come out, grab a cold Rothenberger, and join the energy with ESPN New York. That's R.J. Santillo and Ray Santiago live at the Isley Bowery this Monday, June 29th, brought to you by Rothenberger Pilsner. Now, I watched you. You did not watch the trailer. So we'll
I did.
When did you do it? In the bathroom?
Yeah. And standing at the urinal.
And what'd you think?
I mean, you know.
It didn't.
Have you, when you go back, I got to tell you, trailers for movies like 1990 are tough sledding. They basically just like aired a piece of the movie. It just doesn't. I mean, I get the drift of what's going on. It is literally a mix of like The Longest Yard and A League of Their Own.
Well, think about it. It's 1981.
If
They've
it was
got
a day.
Sylvester Stallone and Pele in it. They know eventually you're going to say it. It's 1981. What else you got to do?
Yeah, you're going to. Oh my God. By the way, this is the third time this summer where I've seen a story moving around. Riders experienced tense moment at Six Flags over Georgia when one of the park's tallest rides suddenly stopped. And there's video of these people. Don, the people are in the swings, the friggin', these individual, look, Don, this isn't a roller coaster. It's like those individual, like, swing.
Oh, yeah. And it just stopped hundreds of feet in the air.
It's the third time I've seen that.
I'm not scared of heights,
but
I don't have very many phobias, but the one phobia I do have is, all right, what if I don't want to be there anymore? Right? Like that was my problem with flights. It's like once the flight's up, I mean, unless you want to really be a jerk, you're not coming down until the flight's done.
Correct.
Like sometimes that'll put you in a little bit of a panic mode. Like, all right, this is where I'm going to be for the next 4 hours,
Sure.
5 hours, wherever you're flying. But in something like that, man, all right, for the first couple of minutes, you'd be like, oh, this is kind of cool. Look at the sights. I'm way up in the air. And then after the next few minutes, it's like, all right, can we get down now?
Well, here's the thing.
What am I supposed to do here?
Here's the thing I don't like about it. Like, I start thinking, like, obviously these things are intended to hold a certain amount of weight or they wouldn't be built this way. But they're not meant to just have people sitting in it endlessly. Like, this thing that they're sitting in, it's not a big metal roller coaster.
No, it's one of those, it's a swing.
It's a swing that's hundreds of feet high, 260 feet high.
I'm good. I don't.
I'm
like
good.
rides.
I'm. You know what? I think I'm now good.
If that's gonna happen to me, forget it. Nancy's scared of heights. If that ever happened, she'd be.
And I mean, this comes after I went on the tallest, fastest, longest roller coaster in the world in Riyadh. But I'm all set here. I'm good. Seen too many of these. Then Don showed me a hot air balloon catching on fire.
Brazil.
Oh.
I'll tell you, you don't need rotten.com. You got Twitter.
It's all right there for you, Don. Like you dreamed about.
Oh, it's always good to talk to Gilberto in the truck. You're on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. What's up, man?
My boy, Danny. What's up, Petey?
Yo.
How you guys? Yo, not for nothing, man. Orange and blue skies, man. Did you hear that cataclysmic explosion when the Knicks won the NBA championship? It said ripple effects that are still being felt this week. Yo, Don, I can't believe it. But you pointed it out so perfectly and so eloquently that you repeated what Steven said from Boston, that they were not built to beat the Knicks this year or next year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's amazing. It really is, Don. You got it. That's just as amazing as every hockey player wanting to come back to the States. What, they got a virus out in Canada?
No,
they want to just leave?
You know what happened is that they were not received well. The American-born players going back to Canada were not received well for winning the gold medal. And they're like, you know what? All right, I'm going to show you. I'm not saying it's the major factor, but according to a lot of reports, it's one of the factors why Brady wanted out of Ottawa. And a lot of these guys are going to look to get, elsewhere. But that's a topic for another day. But it's the way the Knicks won, Peter, how good they are, but also in the style in which they did it. Because, getting back to Becky Hammon is like this bucked the trend, right? It bucked the trend of your best player being a smallish player and winning a championship. That's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to have a Batman and Robin. You're supposed to have a major superstar. And not that Brunson isn't to us, but to the rest of the country, Brunson wasn't on the level of the major superstars. And the way the NBA has been built, the Spurs were supposed to win the title, right? Wemby's going to be the face of the league, and he's the best player, and they're supposed to win. And now the rest of the league's like, well, we're not built to do that. We're not built to play team ball. We're not built to do the things that we do on the basketball court, like the way the Knicks do it.
And if that's the way you're going to win now, are we equipped to do that? It was, just go out and get a superstar. Go out and get LeBron James. Go out and get Giannis. Go out and get, whoever's available, KD back in the day, and let's go win a title. I love the fact that that's not the way to do it anymore. I'm really hoping this is not a one-off. I hope this is the way titles are won in the future. To me, this makes the NBA so much better, Peter, than to just chasing stars, chasing free agents, building super teams, of actually building a team that does all the things well. One for all for one. Let's go out and win a championship. That should be celebrated. And I don't think a lot of these teams are equipped to do that.
It turned out so well. And I love the reward that the Knicks got for it, and I love the reward that the league got for it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just the Knicks who got a reward. I mean, look at the ratings, man. Look at the excitement. We were debating yesterday, when was the last championship in any sport this exciting? And we said maybe the answer is Chicago, Cleveland in 2016. But Don, like in the last 25 years, you really have to think, like, what was bigger than this?
No, it's in the conversation for sure. Jose in Connecticut, you're on ESPN New York. What's up, buddy?
I'm good. What's up, my guys? I just had a couple things. First thing, I feel better today about the Knicks' chances to repeat than I did yesterday.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, Don. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to take Miami at least 2 years. The Celtics, they look like they don't know what they want to do with their roster. So I'm not worried. Like, unless something drastically changes, like a major trade, I feel even better about our chances to get to the finals than I did this past year, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
The only other thing, Don, like, and respectfully, because I don't feel like you do this, I feel like sometimes some media do need to apologize because it's a difference between having an opinion like, oh, the Knicks, I don't think they're good enough. That's not that bad. But when you're taking personal shots at somebody, you're not this. He's soft. He's not. He's too short. Like, or
that's different, Jose. Jose, if you're getting personal, having an opinion, I don't think that team can win a title. I don't think you can win with a small guard. I don't think, when Peter says, I don't think the Giants are going to be as good as people think. That's just a take. That's an opinion. But we start getting personal. Like, if she said, oh, you're not winning with some shorty like Brunson, like, then that's offensive. That's taking it personally, and then you should apologize for that. But being wrong about your take, that's no reason to apologize. You're wrong. That's your punishment. You're wrong. And the world knows it. As long as you admit you're wrong, that's the punishment. And you don't ever have to apologize for that. Alan Hahn will join us next from Brooklyn. He's anchoring our coverage for the draft, which you can hear at 7 o'clock on 1050 and the ESPN app.
I want to get his thoughts on Lollipop-Gate as well.
We might have to. We'll see if he wants to join us at 4:30. I think we could probably do that on Talk About It Tuesday. It's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg taking you up to Mets baseball at 6:30 here on ESPN New York.
D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, and I know how a serious accident can change your life just like that.
I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and I understand that with pain comes medical bills and time out of work. Let us get you justice.
This is John Ryan, the closer. For over 35 years, our family has been getting accident victims every dollar they deserve.
I started this firm for the injured so they can bite back against the insurance companies.
Our legacy is to get you justice. Bite back.
To get you paid. Bite back.
At D'Agostino & Associates, bite back means fight back. When you're hurt and they blame you, we bite back and get you every dollar you deserve. We have offices throughout New York and New Jersey, so call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. 1-800-248-3222. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
You matter, and so does your well-being. If you're facing tough moments, struggling with anxiety, depression, thoughts of suicide, or substance use, help is here anytime you need it. Call, text, or chat 988 for free confidential support. New Jersey's 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here 24/7 for you or someone you love, with trained counselors who listen and care without judgment. You matter. Remember New Jersey's 988. A message from the New Jersey Department of Human Services.
Greatness isn't given, it's earned. On June 27th at Barclays Center, 2 undefeated stars step into the spotlight for boxing immortality. Jaron Boots Ennis versus Xander Zayas, battling for the unified WBO and WBA World Super Welterweight titles. Only one leaves with the crown. Witness the pursuit of greatness, live at Barclays Center, Brooklyn, June 27th. Final tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.com.
Your favorite sports, teams, and exclusive live events are waiting for you on the big screen when you watch on the ESPN app. They know how I'm giving it up. It's all of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the biggest live events and the best championship moments.
This thing just got wild. That was incredible.
Love Scott Van Pelt. Get a good look.
Ain't nobody bigger than us, yeah.
Get the ultimate sports fan experience when you stream on the ESPN app today.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46. And I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
What's up, Met fans? This is Francisco Lindor.
This is Devin Williams.
This is Luke Weaver.
Bo Bichette here. You're listening to the home of New York Mets baseball.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Game time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time,
It's totally time.
Mets Cubs will try again tonight with coverage immediately following us on 880 at 630. Coverage of the NBA draft by Alan Hahn will be on 1050 and will stream at 730. The Yankees visit the Tigers at 640, and the Liberty are in Vegas to take on the Aces at 10. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. He's live in Brooklyn. He's Alan Hahn, and since this is partially his show, we thought he'd have to have some comments on the events of the day in the NBA. How are you, dear?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
It's just Peter. It's been it's just cram session today, fellas. It's just been a lot of studying today and last night for a draft that for a rare occasion in Knicks history, a draft is not that important, but it's very important for everybody else.
Well, I just mentioned the one great thing about the draft is that all the congratulating teams are going to do for the Knicks. Every announcement's going to be, we'd like to congratulate the Knicks on their run to their first championship in 53 years. It's going to be fun for you. Like it's probably going to happen like 17 times tonight, but you know, we talked about Giannis possibly.
It'll be funny the teams that don't do it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I might now. You put that in my head, Don. I never thought about that. Now I'm going to be like, all right, what teams don't say we'd like to congratulate? That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean they're not all going to say it,
but the ones that don't are going to look bad. And what was the motivation? Did they just forget, or?
But you think in which context are they going to say it?
Well, I'm just trying to
during interviews.
No, they usually. Don's right. No, Don's right. A lot of times, although actually, oh wait, Don's thinking of the NHL draft now. Now that I'm going back,
yeah, because the teams don't say anything.
The NHL draft, right? Yeah, in the NHL draft, they have someone come up. Generally, it could be the general manager, it could be an owner, and they announce the pick. In the NBA, it's just Adam Silver who announces the pick.
Like
so
the NFL,
we're not going to have that.
Yeah, so unless Adam Silver just continues to congratulate them pick after pick.
But he will.
And once again, we'd like to congratulate the New York Knicks.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, because that gets right. They do it the way the NFL does. Roger Goodell makes the announcement. But I'm sure it will be said. It'll be said by Silver right when he introduces everything. And then it might pop up here or there during interviews, but not the same way. But just your thoughts on Giannis to Miami.
I think the first thought I had was I told you he wasn't going to Boston. The minute I saw that, I right away, because just the Boston one just felt like such a crazy swing. And then what you hear, though, is that it really wasn't Boston that wasn't trying to get him or wasn't serious about it. It was Milwaukee. It was Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, who also has now bought into the Bucks. who said, I don't want to bring in Jaylen Brown and have this guy in 2 years say he doesn't want to be here. So he didn't want the instability of bringing in another star that would then hold the franchise hostage. So I saw a report about that, and that really caught my attention. So him going to Miami is a move that feels very Miami Heat, very Pat Riley, very much also, I think, Giannis. I think it's a good fit for Giannis. It's a good fit for the Heat. But that's such now an incomplete roster. It's still going to take them time to build something that is going to be a contender. I can't believe Vegas has already put them third in the East, in the third shortest odds, I believe, in the East to get out of the East to go to the NBA Finals. I think that's insane. There's no roster around him and Bam Adebayo that is, credible enough to put up there with some of the other teams in the East. But at least this long wait's over. And for the Knicks, as we said yesterday, it was a bit of a gamble and risk to pass on him last August. And they believed in what they had, and it ended up in a championship. So, as Brian Windhorst always says, winning a championship means never having to say you're sorry. So there's no looking back now after this saying the Knicks should have tried to trade for Giannis. They got a championship instead. Giannis is now in Miami, and they're going to have to deal with him for the rest of his career.
And the other thing, too, because we're trying to spin this all back to the Knicks, it's going to take Miami a while, as Wendy said, and you had just said, for them to be able to get things going so they don't become an instant threat, despite what Vegas says. Wendy was on with Kay saying they believed, and this was the words of Wendy about the Celtics, Celtics believed that if they had advanced to take on the Knicks, they would have gotten boat raced. That was his words.
Yep.
So they believe they've got to change their roster to compete with the Knicks. So where do you stand right now? Like, who would be the biggest threat in the East to upend the Knicks?
It's a great question. And the Boston thing, like I told you, that wasn't sitting well up there with them, with this Knicks success and this Knicks run. Like that has them a little rattled right now. And that's why I'm very curious. I think they might be. They have like they have a late pick. They have one pick. It's 28. No, not 20, 27. And to me, they're still one of the most compelling teams in this draft tonight, not for what they're going to do at pick number 27, but for what they're going to do now that they put Jaylen Brown on the table. Because, there's no taking a guy like that off the table and saying, nah, we're good. We want you here. Because, he's feeling a way about this now. So they're going to have to do something. And with that in mind, what do they do? And how does that advance the cause for them? How does that make them or keep them a contender? So all of a sudden, one of the most stable franchises has now some instability that you've got to watch and see how do they fix it and can they fix it fast enough? Because I always looked at Boston as the biggest threat. After that, Detroit's still going to be searching for a second star. They've realized that what they've got is a regular season team, not a long-term playoff run postseason team. Cleveland already knows they've got more to do because they certainly, you saw the warts that they showed once they got deeper into the playoffs. Indiana's got to come back from a Halliburton injury with a different roster. I mean, guys, Philadelphia's old. I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I really don't know. Name me the team that you look at and say they are the biggest threat to the Knicks. It was Boston. I don't know if it is.
Well, I guess the two for me, what did Detroit learn from losing to Cleveland, and can they take that next step? And what do the Pacers look like with Halliburton being healthy? Because remember, they went to Game 7 of the NBA Finals last year. So if they could pick up where they left off, I think those are really the only two. I don't think Orlando's ready to take that kind of a gargantuan step. So I guess it would be between Indiana and Detroit, right?
Yeah. And both have major questions. Like, again, the Boston thing now, if you're, that's why this has become such a huge story. Because Boston was thought to be the team they have these two mega stars, and they're going to build properly around them. They've been to two finals already. They've won a championship. And you're like, all right, they're going to reload and be back. They won 58 games last year. Yeah, of course you should put them ahead of the Knicks. How do you put them ahead of the Knicks now when you know that Jaylen Brown's not happy, that now he knows they tried to trade him, And how are you just going to say, just come back, everything's going to be fine, when everything wasn't fine before that?
Right.
Well, because they're obviously
did
deciding.
things suddenly change.
And things are, and we were talking about this earlier, Alan, like, because I'm saying to Don, it's weird. When I look around at what makes this team markedly different from the championship team, it's Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford. It's size, right?
Yeah.
But obviously
and Drew Holiday. Yeah.
And Drew Holiday, great point. And they obviously feel that they're far enough away from having the pieces they need that the only way they see to do it is to get rid of Brown to really restart. Because you'd think that, Alan, the ideal move would be we keep Brown and Tatum and just find size and put together. But they obviously think we're not able to do that. We got to retool this whole thing.
Uh-huh.
So that's a great sign for the
right.
Knicks. I mean, it really is, because obviously the Celtics feel they're far away.
It really is, and that's why when you talk about what are the Knicks going to do to try to keep this team intact as best they can, that's the thing. You're running back that starting five. Name a starting five in the East that's better. But just the starting five. Now, depth is critical, and we learned that this year. But, so again, like it is really interesting, this Giannis trade, the tentacles and impact that it had on the East, because it didn't turn the Heat, in my opinion, into an instant contender. Not yet. Now, they could still do some things, but it's very difficult to do it in a couple of months. This might take them one season to build it into something. But still, it didn't turn them into an instant contender. And in Boston, in not getting Giannis, it might have actually taken Boston from being a perennial contender into a team that has pressure now that has to make a trade and change up their culture. So it's amazing what's going on around the Knicks right now. And that's why all of a sudden this thought of, repeat, or this thought of still being the dominant team in the East, I mean, they very much can be that team as long as some of the young teams, where I'm looking at Detroit and you're looking at even Charlotte, as long as they don't have and Orlando too, a quantum leap, Atlanta, those are the teams that you look at as dragon slayers, but not necessarily championship contenders. Knicks just have to make sure they take care of business against those teams, because there really isn't another heavyweight right now unless Boston does something dramatic between now and next October.
Alan Hahn is anchoring our coverage of the NBA draft tonight and tomorrow. You can hear tonight's coverage beginning at 7:30 on 1050 a.m. and also catch it on the ESPN app. So what are some of the things that we could be looking for here during this draft, especially day one?
Well, the first thing about the draft tonight is going to be who's going number one. I mean, there's no given. This is one of the most talented draft classes that we've seen in years. And it's not necessarily a top-heavy draft class. It's talented top to bottom, depending on what you're looking for. It's a lot of guards, of course. There's a lot of talk about the different guards. But who's going number one, I don't think is a given just yet. And that to me is the first thing. AJ DeBanza from BYU. You have Darren Peterson, of course, who's from Kansas, who's he's an interesting talent here, because he's got a ton of talent, but there's a lot of things about him that's kind of shadowy. He's not working out for certain teams. He's played one half and doesn't play the second half. He's missed games. There's stuff going on with him around him that you wonder, do you take a guy like that when there's other talented players that you can just bring in and not have to worry about some of the extra stuff? North Carolina has a point guard in Caleb Wilson that everybody loves. There's Darius Acuff, who, if you love Jaylen Brunson, there's a lot of people that say that Acuff, who's an Arkansas guy, is very Brunson-like, so you watch for that. Not a lot of international players. We generally see a lot, and that's a sign of the times, because college basketball is not only keeping its players because of NIL, you're also drawing international players to go play in college, make money, and then go into the draft versus coming in right away. And a lot of those international players would be second-round picks. Now they go to college and they see if they can up their draft status. So different feel. And the draft tonight also kind of end of an era, because we know that the new draft reform is coming next year, really lottery stuff. So the Wizards, who had the worst record in the league, ended up winning it. First time since 2018 we've had that. So now with the new reform from next year, some teams that are going to be picking higher than others might actually be closer to contending, all based off of the new system, which is supposed to curb tanking, which is always a good thing. So different feel, like tonight could be the last feel of a draft that's loaded with teams that have been tanking and losing for years. And it's time for those teams.
Wow.
And it's the Wizards, it's the Jazz. They got to stop that, and they got to start building teams that can win.
Well, shout out to my hometown Wiz, because if you're going to end it, you end it with one of the great tankers of all time. You know what I'm saying? Do what they do best.
Well, you want it to be, a little more John Wall and less Kwame Brown, though, right, Peter?
Well,
that's
yeah,
what you got to do here with his number one pick.
I think they would love to get even beyond what John Wall was, although from a talent standpoint, John Wall was obviously exceptional.
Yeah.
I always say that John Wall, here's my one thing on John Wall. You remember how fast Lawrence Taylor was in Tecmo Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
Or like Barry Sanders in Madden? Like, that
or
is
Bo Jackson.
Or Bo Jackson. When John Wall first got to the league, that was how I felt about how fast he could get up and down the court. Like, he would literally take an inbound, dribble the ball twice and be laying it on the other end. But obviously, it didn't work out.
Yes.
We know now what they were doing with Trae Young. Alan, you called it out right when it appeared that way. Hey, he's kind of hurt, but more importantly, let's not bother playing. Let's lose these games, and then they signed him to a big contract. Just keep him around for 4 years and hope they can add a big draft pick to go with him. But I don't think these days of the draft will be missed if the new way works out.
Yeah, I think you're right, because you get tired of seeing the same teams at the top in that top 10. And I told you the old Donnie Walsh line that he said to me years ago in 2008 when we were at the lottery. There was a lottery party back then. They had it at Secaucus where they held the lottery. And I went up to him and I said, "This is pretty exciting, isn't it?" He goes, "No, it's not." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "This is a convention of losers. Nobody wants to be here." And it's an interesting how, like, from that point to, fast forward into the teens of the 2000s, how all of a sudden it was a party. Hey, it's great. We're in the lottery. Isn't this awesome? Everybody was so happy to be there. And in fact, I'm coming back next year. There was a thought you never wanted to be in the lottery. It meant you stunk. But that mentality suddenly became a badge of honor for some franchises and their fan bases. And Adam Silver said, "We got to put a stop to this." So we'll see if this latest reform does that.
Yeah, and that's, again, another reason why I just relish in what the Knicks did, because it wasn't about tanking. It wasn't about getting some super player. It was just about, building the way you should. Your thoughts on the Nets getting Randle?
Wow, that's a mind blower right there, right? It's to me less about the Nets getting Randle and more about Minnesota moving on from him. It is amazing because he played well in Minnesota. I remember the Knicks traded Randle for karl-Anthony Towns. Randle went to Minnesota, and there were some people who thought Minnesota won the deal because they also got Dante DiVincenzo. Well, that's not obviously accurate now. But Randle in the playoffs this year had good games and bad games, and his bad games really took a lot out of the team. And when they lost, when the Timberwolves lost, see if this sounds familiar to you guys. A lot of the players cryptically talked about how, going forward, we've got to make sure we have guys that, aren't moody from day to day and, are just locked in every day and don't let negative things affect them and the way they play and if they're getting shots or not. I mean, who does that sound like they're talking about? That's Julius Randle. That's what everybody in New York said about him, too. So the fact that you had those quotes when the playoffs ended in Minnesota, and then the first thing they do is move him out in a salary dump, it really suggests for Julius Randle that, hey, your career's starting to develop a reputation of a guy that definitely puts up numbers, but teams that are trying to win move on from you. And now in Brooklyn, it's a team that's, I don't know what the Nets are right now, but they have themselves an all-star caliber player at least that can score. But I don't think they're looking at him to be a leader, that's for sure. So they still, with a young team, you're going to need to bring in a couple of vets in there along with Randle. But him back in New York is interesting because, remember, KD did not join the Knicks in 2019. He went to Brooklyn, and the Knicks had to pivot to Julius Randle. 7 years later, the Knicks are NBA champions, and the Nets have Julius Randle.
Yeah, it's gonna be a slow burn for Brooklyn because they got 6-14 now. Those are the picks in the first round for the Nets?
Yeah, I believe you're right. Yep. Yeah, they have two. They fell out of the top 5. They had one of the worst records, and they fell to 6. So that hurt them. You win 20 games and you get the 6th pick. That's not exactly a celebration. But yeah, they had 5 first-rounders last year. I think they hit on 2. They've got 2 more this year, and they've really got to start accelerating their build too, because Adam Silver's not going to put up with them sitting there in the lottery once again. As you know, the rules are going to be against them next year.
Yeah, and you know what? And we've had a lot of fun at the Nets' expense because of the Knicks championship and the irrelevancy of the Brooklyn Nets. Wasn't that long ago? They were inches away from beating the Bucks and making a run of their own. And it's fun when both teams are good, right? And if they want to answer, I think it's important. And they're not going to win a championship anytime soon. But if they could start building to where instead of how many losses they have to where they maybe competing to get into a play-in, become relevant again, start winning some games and having some of these deals work, I think it's good. It's good for the NBA to have both of these teams competing for the same real estate again.
Yeah, it's important. Look, they have a ton of cap space as well as these draft picks. That's why you absorb a salary like Julius Randle. And that's, again, for them right now, it's going to be tough for them to attract free agents to want to come play for them. So they have to bring in players this way and at least bring in veteran players and capable players and all-star level players. And the only way to do it is to make trades like this. So they got one. I'm curious to see what more they can do to get a little bit older, a little bit more talented, because, again, there were some games last year where – and that coaching staff, I will say this. Again, you're right, Don. We do, have some fun at the expense of the franchise. But I will say that coaching staff led by Jordi Fernandez is a fantastic coaching staff. And this is not patronizing. I'm telling you, that's a really good coaching staff they have there. They deserve talent because when Jordi Fernandez and that crew get some talent, they're going to win games.
Well, you got coverage 7:30 on 1050 and the ESPN app, anchored by Alan Hahn, the NBA draft. And we will see you, I guess, again on Thursday.
I look forward to it, fellas. This time of year, I've never studied more than I have now. In high school and college, I never studied that much, and it shows, I'm sure.
Are you saying
this is all just cramming right now?
Are you saying the last month you didn't have a ton of time to spend on prospective draft picks?
I was a little distracted. I couldn't put the requisite time in to start learning all the things I need to do. But luckily, I've got a great group with me: Seth Greenberg, PJ Carlissimo, Corey Alexander.
Like you dream about.
These guys know it. This is a dream team. I'm telling you, and they have all the answers. I just have to ask the questions.
All right, buddy. Have fun. We'll see you in a couple of days.
Thanks, boys.
All right, that is the great Alan Hahn. Coverage 7:30 on the ESPN app and on 1050.
I want to talk to you about something. It's important, Don.
I want to hear it.
And I need you to concentrate.
I'm focused.
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game, baby, because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Well, not anymore. That's right. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player subbed out, your bet stays in. So, let's say your player leaves the match. Well, guess what? The bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still in it until the final whistle. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. 21 plus, physically present in New York. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-OPEN-Y or text OPEN-Y 467-369.
Talk about it Tuesday.
We got
coming up next. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg take you up till 6:30. Then it's Mets Cubs on ESPN New York.
Want to earn extra revenue for your business? Amazon Hub Delivery is looking for local business owners to assist with deliveries. When you become a partner, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area on a schedule that works for you. With each package delivered, you'll gain extra revenue and exposure for your business. Plus, Amazon Hub Delivery makes it easy to get started. There's no upfront cost, delivery experience, or long-term contracts required. Sign up to learn more at Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
I've waited a lifetime for this.
It's happening, Knicks fans. It's happening.
I'm now living the dream.
And a team that will live forever. Next stop, the Canyon of Heroes. The New York Knicks are NBA champions.
Champions.
DiPietro and Rothenberg. Morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
When you're vacationing in your RV, there are some things you can always count on. Taking the kayaks out on the lake, hot dogs on the grill, and your sister's boyfriend pulling out his acoustic guitar.
Everyone quiet! Harrison's playing. Wow, you're so good, Harrison.
With Progressive, your RV is protected 24/7, so you're prepared for whatever you don't see coming. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
If Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea was your best friend, it would be the kind of friend that starts an impromptu dance party in the supermarket aisle that turns into an all-day pool party rager at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea turns any day into a legendary adventure. It's smooth and refreshing real iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
And now it's time for traffic. Here's Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. We're going to start off in Jersey Turnpike southbound. If you're heading over to the Goethals Bridge, stick with the car lanes if you can. Broken down tractor trailer in the truck lanes right after interchange 13, taking out the center lane. Bumper to bumper there, getting past Newark Airport. Inbound George looking pretty good for both the upper and lower decks. Best of it's the outbound George Henry Hudson. Second choice West Side Highway northbound. Some pockets of slowdowns from the 70s. Outbound Lincoln Orany about 15 to 20. Outbound Holland 20 to 30. Mets are home tonight at Citi Field. If you're getting a jump start, just a little bit slow at the Whitestone Bridge getting into Queens from the Bronx side. This report is sponsored by America 250. To celebrate America's 250th anniversary, they're coming together coast to coast. Get involved with live events and performances. Visit America250.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
This Father's Day, put the focus on Dad's happy place, his garage. Shop more ways to organize, more ways to build, and more ways to spend time together. With low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Get him a rolling toolbox or a wall-mounted organizer to keep it all in place. Or save on power tools like the Ryobi 2-tool driver drill combo kit for just $99. Make Father's Day about building something together with a little help from the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love. Sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Sometimes you just can't take it anymore.
You're done. I'm done.
This is Let's Talk About It Tuesday.
And it's a really
With Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
There we go. Talk About It Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. I've been hyped up for this one.
Now, because I know we're paid to give opinions, as we were talking about earlier in the show.
A turkey!
I'm kind of right on the fence with this one. And I really want to talk about it. I want to talk about it with you. I want to talk about it with Jacob and Anthony. I want to talk about it with the listeners.
What about with the people?
919-3776. The people, our family. If you haven't seen it by now, last night during the loss, apparently for the second time this year, but the first time that the manager noticed it, Jazz Chisholm came out with a blow pop. And if you don't know what a blow pop is, basically it's a lollipop. That
if you don't know what blow pop is, get your life together.
Listen. Why can't we educate the people that don't know instead of just accepting the ignorance, right? And instead of the Tootsie Roll at the end of all the licks, you get some bubble gum. So he goes out with the lollipop, and he was on Talking Yankees, Aaron Boone today, and was asked how he felt about Jazz going out basically with a lollipop, and the first time I think anybody's ever seen that in the history of baseball.
Is that the history of baseball?
I've never seen it, and that seems to be the consensus, that nobody has ever seen that. I've seen UL Washington with his toothpick. I've seen quirky things happen. I grew up where you were able to chew tobacco. And I remember not knowing what chewing tobacco was, so whenever I would see somebody with the big, huge wad of something in their cheek, I always thought it was a gobstopper because I was a kid. I only knew candy. I didn't know you could chew tobacco. I knew you smoked it. I didn't know you chewed it. Yeah. So listen, we've seen strange things on the ball field. You see Jimmy Leland was smoking a cigarette. Keith Hernandez was caught smoking a cigarette in the dugout.
Jim Leland with a heater like you dream about.
And we've seen sunflower seeds on the field too. So it's not unique to have that oral fixation on the ball field. But here's what Aaron had to say earlier today on Talking Yankees.
Jazz has a lollipop in his mouth. Second time this year we've seen him play with a lollipop in his mouth. Is there anything that you care about there?
What are the analytics there?
Oh, yeah, that pisses me off.
Okay.
I didn't know about it until after the game. So he and I talked about that. That won't be going on again.
Okay. So, yeah, we both got uncles coming out of the woodwork that just don't like that.
Second time? There was another time?
Yeah, in Boston when he was freezing cold he took an at-bat with a lollipop in his mouth in Boston.
Yeah, that's not on that.
All right. I just told you. UL Washington, look him up, infielder for the Kansas City Royals, had a toothpick in his mouth. Matter of fact, if you go to Google, any picture, batting, fielding, always had a toothpick. And I don't remember anybody before or since having a toothpick. And you can understand the dangers of that.
Oh,
even more so than a lollipop. Like a lollipop,
well, both bad.
Obviously, a line drive, you end up swallowing, that could be a problem. But a toothpick, sharp edges, it doesn't take much, I think, to bite the wrong way. You can cut your lip, your tongue. It just seems pretty dangerous. Now, this was back in the 70s when, obviously, we were at war and we didn't care about the peril of ball players.
Or about anything.
Here's why it bothers me. Now, Boone's gone because he's old school. He's third-generation baseball. And I think he's a little aggravated that he got caught not knowing the first time. I think he got a little embarrassed because he's the manager of the team, and he's being told by John Boy, that he went to an at-bat, which I think is even more dangerous, with a lollipop, and he didn't notice. So I think that put him in a mood. But I can understand him being ticked off. He's a third-generation ball player. It seems kind of childish to do it. I don't think it's that big of a deal, Peter. But what bothers me about it is, I think, the reasoning. Jazz just wants attention. Like if there was a ball player that felt like maybe UL Washington, I never heard an answer why he had the toothpick, but maybe it was just something he felt like he needed to do, and he always did it. Like he constantly did. If there was a ball player that came up, it's like, I got to have a lollipop, and you go out and you hit 350 and 50 home runs, do whatever the hell you want. There's no rule against it. It just doesn't look great. But when you roguely do it occasionally, you pick a time when your team's losing their third game in a row, it just kind of it makes me feel like it's a little bit of an attention grabber. So that to me bothers me a little bit, but piss me off. The manager that defends everything that goes on and all the things his players do. This is what you're going to take a stand on. So
are you saying
overall, I'm kind of on the fence about it?
But you're leaning more. Here's where you're leaning. It sounds like to me, not that you're defending Jazz, but that you think, because you do think it's nozzly, but you think it's kind of weak that Boone wouldn't go at other people who do ridiculous things, make terrible fielding decisions, are unprepared. It seems in a moment, but when a guy comes out with a lollipop in his mouth, granted it looks a little goofy. You could view this as a no harm, no foul relative, and this is the thing where he outwardly displays it pisses me off.
Right, because it wasn't like, not a great look. I talked to him about it, but it's not a big deal.
Which it seems like they would do if you cost them a game
right.
with a bad throw.
But that pissed me off. All the time that, a player doesn't bust it down the first baseline. Oh, well, it's not that big of a deal. I talked to him about it. It'll be fine. It won't happen again, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I don't feel like Jazz is long to be here. He just doesn't feel like a Yankee to me. But at the same time, I'm like not defending him, but really this is where you're going to go to war with. You're going to stand on this. It just seems strange. So on the surface, it looks like it's no big deal, but I think you dig a little deeper, maybe it kind of tells you the relationship that Jazz has with the Yankees, and it might not be the best one.
Just considering that he literally will defend everything that they do. I mean, if one of the players who it seems like he is on good terms with really just does, is completely absent-minded. Forgot how many outs there were. Gets a ground ball with 2 outs in the ninth, turns around and just throws the ball into the crowd. It would be like, well, hey, we got.
Well, you think of all those times
we got to clean that up.
Volpe.
Volpe's the one who comes to mind the most. And we got to clean that up. But this, it is so like it's not so much that I'm like mad at Boone for it, but it's telling to me.
Yeah, and I just don't think Jazz is long for here. And I always hate to have these conversations with the listeners and the fans because the people that love Jazz are going to defend, and the people that hate Jazz are going to kill them. I'm not coming from any place of. I'm completely neutral. I mean, I'm not a Yankee fan, but I've got nothing against Jazz. Not exactly my type of ball player.
Well, what do you mean when you say that?
Well, because I just think he's flashy for the sense of attention. I don't like that he's going to hit 50 home runs, and then what is he going to hit, like 15 this year? Like, I just don't like the bold. It's not very Yankee-like. I don't dislike him as a person. He's just not the kind of ball player I love. And I think this is just another one of those. I'm going to just be that guy and go out there with a lollipop. It might be this. You could say it's similar to a toothpick, and it's similar to sunflower seeds or tobacco.
No, well, there's something childish about it too.
There is something just like.
Listen, I don't want to overdo it.
No,
let me put it this way: if there was a guy who was playing great baseball and there wasn't anyone talking about anything with them, I don't think you'd really care very much. It would look a little funny and like, what was that about?
Yeah, it's goofy.
But it jumps off a little bit more, obviously, because people don't seem to be thrilled with Yaz.
But this is kind of what the Yankees have become a little bit, right? Now you're allowed to wear the beards and you're allowed to have, the personality you couldn't have before. But I would accept it a little bit more. There's no more old school managers per se. But if that happened and Buck was managing the team, I would expect Buck to react that way because he's Buck Showalter. He's called players out before.
Right.
He holds players accountable. I would not say Boone is the at least publicly hold players accountable kind of manager.
That's not his vibe.
And to not come to Jazz's immediate defense to me tells me that there's other issues here. That's why I thought it was a little deep. But did it when you saw it? Did you laugh? Did it bother you? Did you not even think about it? Like what came to mind when you did it?
I saw it under the context of look what Jazz did. So I was kind of like, well, that's interesting. If I were watching the game, I'd think, wow, lollipop in the mouth. Men don't. I mean, did you just leave the dentist's office? Men don't have lollipops that often, grown-ass men.
So, the only time I will walk out and I will have a lollipop is my barber has them at the cashier.
Barbers, dentists.
And like, you know what? I'll grab one for the ride. Why not?
Treat yourself.
But
what kind? Blow pop?
No.
Dum-dum?
They're the little dum-dums, exactly. I'm not a huge fan of lollipops.
No. Let's be honest, the best lollipop, in my opinion, is a blow pop or a Tootsie Roll. I probably prefer a Tootsie Pop.
Yeah.
And it's not.
What if you had one of those big, huge ones like the Kramer had in Seinfeld? just run out of the field with that. What, like an all-day sucker, you know?
By the way, that would be hilarious if today he did that. But one of like the multicolored, gigantic ones.
Yeah.
It's just a weird choice. Listen, but what are the other? You know what? I want to go to a correspondent.
Yes, let's go to the room of correspondence.
I'd like to go to a Yankee boy number one, Ant Pusick.
Yeah.
And get his thoughts.
AP.
Did you have any thoughts on it? And it's a two-part question. Number one, did you have any thoughts on the lollipop at all?
Mm-hmm.
And number two, where are you at with Yaz overall?
Here's my thoughts. Is that a lollipop in Jazz's mouth? Followed by, why can't Garrett Cole get out of the fifth inning? I was far more concerned with the fact that they were down, I think it was 4-1 at the time in the fifth inning, and that the offense hasn't looked great over the last 3 days than Jazz having a lollipop in his mouth.
All right, so
I didn't care.
Okay.
But, you know,
well, then
but like, that's Jazz. Like, if Judge did it, I'd be like, that's kind of weird. But Jazz having a lollipop in his mouth, I'm like, that's Jazz. Jazz kind of do some weird stuff.
Well, part two, though. Like Don saying what he said, and again, he doesn't have a dog in the fight, but Jazz doesn't give him Yankee vibes. Where are you at with that? Do you think Jazz has been fine as a Yankee? You happy with him?
I think Jazz is fine. I think that when they traded for him, they knew the personality they were getting, and they felt, I believe it was Cashman that said it, that they needed something like that. So he certainly came with, but I think that what they were looking for is more what Caballero does, which is irritate everybody around against them, not irritate people on the team. Because it seems like Boone might be getting irritated by it, which is probably not great.
Well, see, that's the third part of it, Anthony, is no matter how you feel about it or how the rest of the fans feel about it, they're the opposition. But if he was brought here to kind of, for lack of a better phrase, jazz things up, is it a problem that the manager says it pisses me off when guys that don't bust it down the line, guys that have made mistakes, mental errors, he'll defend? This is the line he decides to draw.
Yes.
The lollipop.
Well,
that pisses me off.
Well, that's kind of odd, but we've seen Boone get annoyed at certain things where you're like, really, that's the thing you're getting annoyed at? We see him get annoyed at check swings that get him kicked out of games, which we think are kind of
but that's just that's the competition of it.
Sure.
Maybe sometimes they're performative, but I just think he's an old school baseball guy that wants to win.
Maybe it was Boone's lollipop. Did we ever consider that?
Yeah, maybe he was pissed off because that was
he stole his lollipop.
Yeah.
But what do you think about my theory of he was in a mood because he had to be told that it happened before and he didn't know?
Well, here's the other thing. Now, this, of course, is the day after already, and he was on with John Boy, and they do a great job with him.
They do.
And they asked him, and he said before even the other stuff about I didn't know that this was the second time, that me and him talked about it. So clearly he knew about it last night. Nobody in the press asked him about it, but he felt the need to tell John Boy that he talked to Jazz about it after the game. So clearly he felt a way about it last night and said, hey, we're not doing that anymore. Well, the fact that it happened again, maybe Jazz thought he got away with it the first time, but now that he knows, he's probably not thrilled.
Well, it's out there. Jacob's a Met fan, but you should be able to throw your 2 cents in, Jake, if you have any.
I don't see any issue with the lollipop scandal, just because especially a lot of people gonna see it as that
Lollipop-Gate. You gotta throw gate after it if it's anything.
Lollipop-Gate. Just because baseball is coming from a sport where chewing tobacco, chewing sunflower seeds, those are things you could choke on while swinging a bat.
True.
Right? And fielding a baseball. So, I mean, with the lollipop thing, I'm not really jumping out the window for it. Now, do the Yankees in totality need to do better? Are these the type of distractions you want from a player on the team? Not really, but it wasn't something that was egregious.
I think Anthony and Jacob kind of nailed the general feeling.
But what I'd like to get to the bottom, why did Jazz do it? Was he not finished with it and didn't want to throw it away? Or, I'm just going to be that guy. Is Jazz that guy? 1-800-919-3776. Your thoughts on this, obviously, and other things that we're going to be talking about today, including an E&N coming up at 6 o'clock. But just like the New Jersey Devils bring intensity on the ice, Viking Pest Control brings that same level of protection to your home. And I know this because I use Viking at my own home. The season may be over, but pests are always in play, so it's time to lock in your off-season defense. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the Devils, Viking delivers 45 years of trusted experience to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, mosquitoes, and more out of your zone. They've got a local team that builds a personalized game plan that actually works, and when you bundle pest control mosquito services, you score big savings. You just let them know what's the problem. Ants the problem, they'll focus on that. Rodents the problem, they'll do that. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com, protecting your home inside and out. We've got lots to get to today, not just ENN coming up at 6:30, but the general manager of the New York Mets has spoken. Got to get into that. Mets got a little bit of a reprieve getting rained out yesterday, and I've got something to talk about with that as well. Don Hahn and Rosenberg till 6:30, then it's Mets baseball right here on ESPN New York.
D'Agostino, law, bite back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates. Did you know Social Security takes money out of every paycheck you earn, paycheck after paycheck, and you're not supposed to touch that money until you're 67? What if you can't work? What if you need that money now? The system is challenging and most people get denied. That's a fact. D'Agostino & Associates has the experience to win, and we win a lot. If you filed for Social Security disability benefits and were denied, let us appeal. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. Bite back means fight back. 1-800-248-3222. We'll fight to get you paid. D'Agostino & Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and handles Social Security disability claims and appeals. Remember, if you've been denied, call us first. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino & Associates. We win a lot.
This is the Michael K. Show.
All the genius that we thought that David Stearns was, right? Maybe, just maybe, it wasn't him with Milwaukee, because they haven't skipped a beat without him. At some point, when does he get blamed? Because now I think there's going to be a lot of spotlight on the Mets and how bad they are, because there's no Knicks to distract you. The Mets are a terribly put together team.
The Michael K. Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Hey, Yankees fans, join us at Yankee Stadium on Friday, July 3rd for a very special night. Fireworks Night, presented by Baby Ruth. Bring your family and friends as the Yankees take on the Twins, and stay after the game for a spectacular post-game fireworks show celebrating the 250th birthday of America. Get your tickets now at Yankees.com/tickets. Don't miss the Yankees and Twins Fireworks Night, Friday, July 3rd, presented by Baby Ruth. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Speaking of questions.
Buster, I mean, Volpe hasn't kind of blossomed into what they expected. Thank God for Paul Goldschmidt, but now, I mean, at third base.
And he actually cannot end it with just a defined question.
Here's the thing for me. It drove me crazy last year with the Yankees. I'm a Mets fan. Do you think they do both, or do they prioritize the pitching over maybe some help at third base?
Maybe we taste real true torture.
That'll teach them.
Yeah.
If you do that and it truly takes the next step in terms of being a mental block, you end up with something like this.
What happened? I don't know what happened, but why Bregman not back?
Morning Start with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekdays from 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com. That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
This is Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York
Giannis is walking into Miami to play in South Beach.
This is a great day for the Knicks. Him ending up in Miami as opposed to Boston, God bless you. Who is shooting for them right now? This is a best-case scenario for the Knicks.
To me, that still doesn't put them above the Knicks. It doesn't put them above the Pistons. It doesn't put them above Boston. It doesn't put them above the Indiana Pacers.
Bart Scott, Chris Carlin, weekdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Soccer fans, join Bart Scott and Chris Carlin this Thursday, June 25th, for a watch party presented by Rothenberg Pilsner, as they're going to watch the game between Germany and Ecuador at the Hoboken Beer Garden in Hoboken, New Jersey, starting at 4 p.m. Enjoy Pilsner perfection since 1872. From the first German Pilsner, come out, grab a cold Rothenberger, and join the energy with ESPN New York. That's Bart Scott and Chris Carlin live at the Hoboken Beer Garden this Thursday, June 25th, brought to you by Rothenberg Pilsner. Your reaction to Jazz at 1-800-919-3776 and what we've now dubbed Lollipop-Gate. Tony in Tampa. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Tony?
Fellas, how we doing?
Good.
Good. So, I got two quick questions for you. The first thing is, Don, you mentioned UL Washington. Now I'm 34, so didn't really know him. I went to the Google machine on the Pooter, and I haven't. And every single picture of this man on the Google machine, he has a toothpick in his mouth. So yes. I guess my question to you is, because I'm 34, I don't remember. I mean, was it a big deal when UL Washington, was it talked about like this is?
No, I mean, it was talked about in a way of like a uniqueness, like he's got a toothpick. It was never discussed. Now, this was before sports radio and Twitter and all that, but it was kind of looked upon as an interesting quirk. Now, here's the difference. He always did it. As you said, it's in every single picture. It's who he was. He wanted to have a toothpick, and he was a good enough player that I guess they let him do it. Jazz has done it twice, so it's not a thing. Like if Jazz came up and a lollipop was a thing and everybody was okay with it, it would probably be something that would be adored and liked and done by other players. But he does it sparingly. He does it as if to kind of make a statement. UL Washington, I'd love to do the work to see why he did it. Maybe he was trying to quit smoking. I don't know. But is there a difference, Peter, between just somebody that just always did it? Is it how occasional it is? Make it more like Jazz as being that guy.
Yeah. It seems when it's occasional, it feels like there's no method to it. You're just like, don't care about the game. That it's stupid, but that's how people feel. I think it's like, oh, really, just having yourself a lollipop, huh? When really it might have been. Like, let's look from Jazz's perspective. By the way, we have the most ridiculous job in the world. What's dumber than sports talk radio? Well, we're debating the man eating a lollipop, but I get paid for it, so let's do it. Isn't there a chance it's just like he keeps snacks with him during the game, and you feel like your blood sugar is low, and you're like, I want a lollipop. That's what I'm. And then the inning ends, and you go, I mean, I can play in the field. He's an infielder. I can go and play in the field and have a lollipop in my mouth. I'm not going to get blindsided and get hit in the mouth. Now, it is weird. You get a really sharply hit ball that you have to run for. Are you sprinting with the lollipop in your mouth? Seems a little weird, but maybe he thought I'm going to finish it in 2 seconds. How much? Do we know how long he kept it in his mouth? Did they go back to him several times?
I don't.
It was in the whole half inning. It was there. Yeah. It's not like he chucked it into the dugout at any point.
Well, that's interesting because I would have thought you take a few sucks and then you kind of bite the whole thing off and say, let's move on now.
Oh yeah, like
he really worked it.
Or maybe if he had said, listen, it's something I do between innings. I forgot that it was there and I went onto the field and didn't realize I was still sucking on a lollipop.
If that was the explanation, Boone doesn't say today he doesn't love it to jump.
I mean, this guy's a bell of danger. He was going to work out there.
But no, let's not make the mistake of, we were worried about it. Baseball's kind of quirky. There's some things that work and some things that don't. I guess a toothpick is, hey, this guy means business. A guy in lollipop is like, hey, we're losing the game, and he's sucking on a lollipop like a 6-year-old. Grow up. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I'm just saying that that's how baseball players probably look. Hey, there's all these unwritten rules. Some things work, some things don't. You taught me that hit's different. Toothpick hits different than a lollipop. It's a completely different thing, even though it's kind of the same thing. Let's go to Steven in Queens. You're on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
Hey, good afternoon, fellas. How you doing?
What's up?
Yeah, Don, how you doing, man?
Good.
All right. So I have to agree with you, man. Listen, like sometimes when you're a kid, man, you do so much that sometimes it's not even that tip you over. It's just so much, you know what I mean? I guess Boone and everybody's, not really everybody, but like Boone is kind of tired of his antics and all that stuff. But, he's always trying to be that guy, like you say. You know what I mean? He's a grown man, but he's always trying to like some attention thing. I don't know.
But it is interesting, Steven, like Anthony said before, like one of the reasons Cashman got him is he's kind of quirky and doesn't take himself as seriously, and they were looking at that as a positive, and now it's gone too far. I think the more interesting topic, to Peter's point about it, we're really talking about a lollipop. I think what we're really doing is having a conversation about Boone's relationship with Jazz.
Probably.
And that, to me, affects the Yankees more going forward than the fact that Jazz was just being that guy. All right, 1-800-919-3776, always the number to call. David Stearns spoke, as he does usually before homestands. He has spoken. We'll hear from him coming up next. Want to get into the football of it all. No supplemental draft this year. We're going to tell you why. And then at 6 o'clock, it's ENN. Nothing hits like the ENN just before the NBA draft. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg at 6:30, and it's Mets-Cubs on ESPN New York.
The World's Game at BetMGM is here. Bet on the soccer showdowns with 2-up early payouts so that if you're up 2, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Place a pregame, straight match result bet on any tournament game. If at any point your team is up by 2 goals, you'll instantly win your bet. Then enjoy BetMGM's same-game parlays, daily promotions, player props, and so much more for the World's Game. Don't miss your shot at an early win with 2-up early payout to get paid out if at any point your team is up by 2 goals, regardless of the final outcome of the match. Make it a tournament to remember with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus years of age to wager and physically present in New York only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Additional terms and restrictions may apply.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
New York basketball is back on top. Champions of the world. When you watch a team play that well, you can tell. It starts with how they're built. Depth, leadership, execution, doing the little things right. That's exactly how Tricon Construction builds too. Whether it's medical, industrial, multifamily, or commercial, Tricon brings the right team and the right plan to every project across the Tricon area. So if you're looking for a construction partner for your next project, don't overthink the pick. Choose Tricon Construction. Every phase, every detail done right. Visit TriconBuilds.com.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks, guys. We're going to go back to Jersey again. We've got a new issue on the Garden State Parkway northbound, right before exit 137 in Cranford. Crash blocking 2 lanes. You're crawling there from the Colonia Rest area and Woodbridge. Turnpike southbound, truck lanes, no relief heading over to the Goethals Bridge. Right after interchange 13, a broken down tractor trailer in the center lane. Delays are backing up to the eastern and western spurs. Inbound George, not too bad, just about 5 to 10 for the upper deck. Still the best of it to the outbound George, Westside Highway and Henry Hudson. Outbound Lincoln already about 10 to 15 minutes. Outbound Holland 15 to 20. Mets are home tonight at Citi Field. Heaviest ride into Queens. Triborough Bridge, you're packed on the Bronx and Manhattan legs. This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Visit MAD.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea just got harder with Twisted Tea Extreme. The hard iced tea taste you know and love, but with an 8% kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Extreme is made with real brewed tea, goes down smooth, and brings your daytime drinking to the next level. Just look for the bright yellow cans in the cooler and get ready to dial up the fun. Big flavor, extreme kick. Twisted Tea Extreme. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Empower. Katie got a VIP box for the postseason. She worked with Empower to help her get good at money so she can be a little bad. She planned well and was able to bring the whole family.
Who wants homemade egg salad sandwiches?
Even Beth.
Horseradish? Anyone? How about some tuna on rye?
Aw, strike 3, Beth. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
ESPN New York, now streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe today and watch the show. WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
Game time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, Peter.
It's Tully time. It's Tully time.
Cubs Mets, they'll try it again after getting rained out yesterday. They're going to be on a 7:10 first pitch, so our coverage at 6:30 will be on 880 right after us. NBA Draft, hosted by Alan Hahn, will be on 10:50 and will stream on the ESPN app at 7:30. And the Yankees visit the Tigers at 6:40. The Liberty are in Vegas to take on the Aces at 10. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Now, David Stearns of the Mets spoke before the game today. He usually does that at the beginning of homestands, and the Mets did not have a great road trip as they dropped 2 out of 3 against Cincinnati and 2 out of 3 against Philadelphia. David, what are your conversations like with Steve Cohen?
I think Steve wants us to certainly be better than we are. He's frustrated. We're all frustrated. Steve expects us to do better than this. I expect us to do better than this. He, like me, is going to withhold judgment on any sort of trade deadline strategy until we have to make a decision closer to that time.
Well, it's creeping up. What is this, game 78? So we're very close to the midway point of the season, and still, even though they're only, 6 games out of a playoff spot, there's only 2 teams worse than them in the entire National League. It's San Francisco and Colorado. So I wouldn't really be thinking too much about the playoffs right now if I were the Mets. David, where does the team need to be the most consistent?
I think at various points of the season, it's been various parts of the team. For a large segment of the season, I would have said the offense. I would have said we need to more consistently score runs. Over the last couple of weeks, as we've touched on here, I think our starting pitching allowing us to get deeper into games more competitively. So I think both of those segments, both our run scoring and our starting rotation, are areas where we're going to have to be more consistent going forward to go on the type of run and prolonged quality play that we need to have.
All right, I'm going to be honest with you. I've really got nothing out of those 2 cuts at all. It's just words. But this one could be interesting, Peter.
Well, let's find out.
How would you, or how would he?
I want to tell you, if this cut is useless, I'm not going to respond. I'm just going to start a FanDuel read.
All right, you know what?
I will.
I like that. So this is the game we play. Yeah. Opinion or read. David Stearns, how would you assess the Mets clubhouse culture? It's a good one, right?
Yeah, seemingly.
My observations is that those guys have meshed pretty well. I think we're playing hard. Doesn't always mean we're playing well, but I think we're playing hard. I think our guys do care about winning. So I have not seen a clubhouse cohesion culture issue.
Honestly, I think this deserves an opinion because I have one.
Yeah, it wasn't It wasn't nothing. So
no, it wasn't nothing.
No, you may not like it, but it wasn't nothing.
Well, here's the thing. I can only give you my thoughts. I never thought it was a lack of caring. I never thought it was a lack of hustle. To me, it's just a lack of talent. So you're bringing up these things that were they on the table? You know, I watch a Met game. I'm like, this team can't pitch. They can't hit. They can't field. They're not living.
Yeah, but besides those things,
you know, so when we're talking about the culture, are these winners? Are these guys that have the ability to go out there and be, as you said before the season started, David, that they were going to be better than they were last year, and they're on pace to be way worse. So when you're telling me that there's not a lack of hustle or a lack of care. Why are you bringing out stuff that we're talking about? Culture. Culture is there a level of accountability? Is there a level of ability to win? That to me is culture. I don't think anybody was accusing them of being lazy. I just accusing David Stearns of putting together a poor roster, Peter. That's what it really is. So finally, the last one, he was asked about the coaching staff.
I think our staff and our coaches are working incredibly hard every day to get these guys going. And I think in certain areas they're as frustrated as anyone that we haven't seen better results.
But in terms of the process that you're seeing,
I'm pleased with it.
All right, so he's pleased with the effort. He's pleased with the process. So the one thing he's not saying is that he's pleased with the roster, and that's him. Ladies and gentlemen, not that you needed to be told this, and I know we've been very focused on the Knicks, and I'm sure even a lot of diehard Met fans have watched less Mets baseball over the last month than they would normally because of the Knicks run. This is a David Stearns problem. It really is. And the sad thing about it is you usually don't see general managers get fired in season. And I don't think Steve Cohen's got an appetite to let David go for as long as he waited for him. But clearly, what David is telling you is if he's happy with the effort and he's happy with the process and he's happy with the coaching and the team is 7 games under 500, then that tells me that the roster's not good enough. And this roster's got his fingerprints all over it. Big fat hand fingerprints all over it. He didn't take over a team that was absent of Alonzo, Nimmo, McNeil. Those guys are gone because of him. He built what he thought was going to be a better team than the 83-win team last year. And if everything else is okay, Peter, the roster is a major problem. And your problem, ladies and gentlemen, is David Stearns. Peter Rosenberg?
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel's changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them, but not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player's subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. Your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still in it until the final whistle. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. 21 plus, physically present in New York. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Jason asked Chat GPT, why did UL Washington play baseball with a toothpick in his mouth?
Okay.
Let's see what Chat GPT says. Can this be trusted, by the way?
Yeah, probably.
Well, that didn't sound like arousing.
I mean, you don't know. It depends on the ask. Sometimes AI gets stuff right. Sometimes it's dead wrong.
UL Washington played with a toothpick in his mouth because it was a habit he developed as a young man. He said he started carrying a toothpick instead of chewing tobacco, which he disliked. And partly because his father always had a toothpick in his mouth. Washington once explained, my father did the same thing. It's just a habit. Without it, I feel naked. So there was a reason. So that's why I think it's understandable, Peter. Now, was it the safest thing in the world to do? Would Major League Baseball allow it today? That I can't answer. But he gave, if ChatGPT is telling the truth here, that's a reason he did it. What would Jazz's reason to be other than just to be that guy?
He was hungry, wanted a snack. That's it. I mean, it's not that different than developed a habit. Let's not act like that's some sort of, incredible reason.
No. The toothpick became his trademark. He kept one in his mouth while batting, fielding, and even talking to reporters. In a 1980 interview, Washington said it helped him relax, much like other players use chewing tobacco or dip. God, who came up with the idea? It's one thing to come up with the idea, let's smoke this growth out of the ground. But who came up with the idea to chew it?
You got to do something.
Yeah, had you ever?
No. Nope.
I did it for a while in high school because I felt like it made me a ball player.
I get it. Like Marco with the glasses.
And there are two pitfalls for me. One's
the mouth cancer.
Well, I wasn't thinking about mouth cancer at the time. But this was the 80s. Nobody was thinking about it. as the coach of the team was smoking a heater. I don't want to say cancer wasn't a thing. It certainly was a thing, but we didn't seem as overly concerned about it. No, it wasn't that. It was you could get lightheaded.
Is that a good thing or bad?
No, it's a bad thing.
Oh, because it's part of the thing.
Like if you weren't used to it and you put a bunch in,
you get high.
It's a problem. The other thing is
the spit
is you could accidentally swallow it and it just burns all the way down, like to your belly. Like it's not good. It's not pleasant. And so you're chewing, and I was doing it as a pitcher, which is very rare. So like a line drive up the middle, all of a sudden I swallow a little bit and I'm gagging. That's not good for the next pitch.
No.
So I do not recommend it. I don't. Most fields in this country outlawed. You can't even, like a lot of the Little League fields that Marco plays on is a big sign, no chewing tobacco. Believe it.
Really, that's still there.
They don't even want you to use sunflower seeds while you're playing either.
Why?
I think it just messes up the field. Who wants? No, but
it's nasty.
No, it's not a Major League Baseball. There's not a bunch of maintenance people coming and clearing the field.
Right.
Of
so now you've been spitting sunflower seeds all in the dugout everywhere.
So I think it's more just because of a maintenance thing than a health thing. But nobody's doing it anymore. No kids are doing sunflowers. I'll do some sunflower seeds if I'm playing softball, the Mark Sasso, August 22nd, by the way. We're
official?
Putting together our roster, yes. And we've got some we got some confirmation. Greg Buttles confirmed. Brian O'Halloran confirmed.
I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Peter's feeling pretty good. Chris Carlin's feeling pretty good. Chris Canty felt pretty good last year, actually said yes and then didn't show.
Wait, that's the unfortunate one.
And now we're done.
Dead dudes?
I'm 58 years old. I'm trimming a tree.
Right. So Candy's out.
Yeah. So I'm not even asking him. But we're getting a lot of reaction, so it's going to be good. Danico said yes, so we're going to have some fun.
I believe you should get an active Devil player this year.
An active?
That's right.
Well, let them finalize the roster. You mean get Jack?
Why not?
From Golden Goal to Mark Sasso, the Jack Hughes story.
Captain America. Why not?
What do you think you take more pride in, the Golden Goal or like a game-winning home run in the Mark Sasso?
I think they'd both be on the ledger. What time you starting this thing?
I honestly 5 o'clock. We always start at 5. I honestly, if given, what do they call it? If given audience with Jack Hughes, which I will not have before August 22nd because camp doesn't open until after that. But if I were to, I don't know, run into him at a function or something, and I had his attention, I don't think I'd have the guts to ask him. Because that's a big ask. Ken Danico is one thing.
You want to say,
Bryce Salvador is one thing.
One day, it was year one for you. One day there may be a year when you could say, hey, Jack, you know what? But that time is not yet. Not after year one.
No.
It could happen, though. You don't know. You don't know where the relationship goes.
No, you don't know.
I want to ask you a question.
Let's get to a point maybe where he comes and say, Don, is there any spots open on the Mark Sasso?
Yeah, exactly. Who knows?
We'd love to get to that point. That'd be amazing.
I want to throw one thing at you before we take these calls.
Do it.
You brought up smoking, and chewing tobacco is banned from baseball fields.
Yes.
The one thing that's been on my mind recently, now that I understand how America works better.
America.
What politician is responsible? Who didn't play ball the right way that led to the demise of the tobacco industry? Like, think about it. Alcohol's running wild, killing people. Never slows down.
Nope.
It's never slow. It is literal poison. Never slows down. Always for sale. Drinking and driving, they keep plowing through. Alcohol's always, although they have had it down a few years, I'm told, but in general, no problem. Not because of legality, that's just because of popularity. Prescription drugs, all kinds of food that gives us cancer. Everything bad for you has no issues. In fact, they're repealing things to even our current government doesn't even want you to know about things that are bad for you. We don't want regulation. Just feed it right to the people. So my question is, being that it's obviously all about money and that's all that matters, it's not about people's lives whatsoever. Who dropped the ball and is the reason why the tobacco industry got so shut down law-wise? Like, think about how big a cliff they fell off. When you talk about from being at the top of the mountain, and I understand it, like the evidence starts coming out about cancer, that's tough.
Well, that's
big. But that's not enough. because other things have it and it doesn't matter. They're the only one that really, it got so much worse. You can't do it anywhere. It went from everyone, at least outside. Don, you can't even do it outside.
But Peter, we did ban alcohol. Everyone said this is a horrible idea. We need an amendment to get it back.
Well, that's the thing. Is
that didn't work well.
That we did put our foot down during Prohibition that this cannot stand. And as much as smokers are aggravated by this, it didn't get to the point like it did with Prohibition, where it was not. Now, alcohol was banned, but we almost have a banishment where you can't smoke anywhere, you can't smoke outside. It's almost like, unless you're going to go in your car or your own home.
They've made the price, they've made the taxes on it so prohibitively expensive that it's insane.
Here's the difference to me.
Go ahead.
Is that we do live in a world where, when done responsibly, it's not dangerous. The level where the cancer numbers are so astronomical, and cancer from secondhand smoke. So now not only you're putting yourself in danger, you could be putting people around you in danger. That it was just too much to ignore. That even casually smoking.
But you're still going with what I can't believe, which is that these things were done for the well-being of people. And I'm sorry, I don't trust our country to do that. We consistently show through the foods that we consume by what's considered okay compared to what's considered okay in Europe. There are literally foods here that in Europe they go, oh, with these ingredients, this is illegal. This is poison. And here they go, no problem.
I understand that. But there's still
our cancer numbers are through the roof.
Level of debate.
Not really. It just is not enough awareness.
But you can't tell me that the tobacco industry wasn't powerful.
They were.
It was powerful.
But I guarantee you something had to happen.
But I just think the numbers there was no debate about it anymore. You know, we went from the 50s where 4 out of 5 doctors recommend,
Pall Mall.
Now it's laughable when you go back and you see old. It's laughable. Talking about just completely lying to the public. I mean, some of it was just an ignorance. I mean, just look at the concussion situation with the NFL. You ignore it until the point is the stats just don't lie, and then eventually you have to address it. That's what happened with the NFL. They didn't all of a sudden find religion. The stats were there. Listen, this is it. You're seeing former athletes committing suicide at ridiculous levels. We're seeing these players not recovering in the way that they should. You have to address this, to the point where the NFL said, we don't have a problem here, where they've literally changed the rules of the sport because the numbers just didn't lie.
I mean, you can still argue they haven't done that. They're going to do more.
Right, but they were moved by, listen, you don't have a leg to stand on anymore.
Right, it wasn't out of goodwill.
Where there are things where I guess as small as the ledge may be, there may still be enough to say, no, we're still good. And I think with alcohol, you could say, when drinking responsibly, that it's not as harmful.
Right.
I mean, although we're seeing stats that just the use of any alcohol can lead to cancer.
Well, and by the way, if you were the smoking lobby, and I'm sure they could have tried to present this. Well, listen, if you have a cigarette here or there, you'll be fine. But they weren't able to present that case. Now, obviously, we know most smokers don't operate that way. It wouldn't have been done in earnest.
Right.
I just find it fascinating. I do wonder, though, what the political and I think is there a movie about this?
Oh, thank you for
smoking.
Thank you for smoking. Instead of thank you for not.
Is that about is that what era?
It's about the tobacco. I think it was in whenever the main movie was made. It was, I guess the movie was made late 90s, early 2000s, and it was in real time about trying to. That it wasn't an issue. And that was just 20 years ago. But the numbers over those 2 decades has just been astronomical. Plus the addictiveness, too. Now, we know alcohol is addictive, but there are plenty of people that have an occasional drink that don't become alcoholics. But
of course.
Can you, considering how addictive nicotine is, can you be a casual smoker? Or are you eventually going to go from a cigarette every now and then to all of a sudden 2 packs a day? Again, I'm not a scientist, but I'm trying to answer your question.
And by
that
the way,
could be the difference.
And by the way, just to be clear, nor am I crying for the tobacco industry. And by the way, they've made it work. Now they figured out vapes. No one understands the death trap those are. And they're doing all right there.
I got to tell you, you cannot, there's certain highways. There's a highway by me, Route 18, that kind of connects like 287 to the Parkway.
Okay.
You can't go 100 yards. Dispensary, vape shop. Store. Yeah. Dispensary, vape store.
I know, we did all of this stuff. And now you just smell weed smoke everywhere, and people vape everywhere.
There was
there's no getting around.
We took the kids out. Declan had his last baseball game on Friday night, So we went for ice cream after the game, and there was a pizzeria that was just down a few doors from the creamery, and two guys were smoking a cigarette outside the pizzeria. The smell of the smoking, that was something that was a part of my life for decades, was so overwhelming it almost made me sick.
Isn't that crazy?
But because that's how rare I smell it. But weed? I can't walk anywhere without smelling.
Isn't that interesting?
Isn't that still smoking?
Yeah, but I will say this.
Oh, because there's no nicotine, that it's not.
But I will say this. As someone who, if there were no health repercussions, would enjoy a cigarette more than I would enjoy a joint, the cigarette smoke does just hit worse than the weed smoke. It's like,
but it never did when we were growing up, because my mom and dad were smoking in the car.
It was built in. I know. It was built in there. And the club, I'd be in the club.
What kind of? Listen, this was the 70s. Nobody thought it was a bad idea to smoke in front of your kids.
By the way, they were considered great parents if they didn't just hand on the cigarette and let him have a smoke at 7 years old.
Are you old enough? I know Jake and Anthony are. Of what it was like to go out on a Friday or Saturday night, wake up the next morning and shower, and like you could smell the smoke in your hair from just going out and everybody smoking.
Yeah, I was DJing at that time, so they banned it when I was like in my early 20s. And I remember being annoyed because as a DJ, I'm like, oh, man, that's like part of everyone's. Now people won't want to party as much.
I love where we're at, though, because when my kids see somebody smoking on the corner, it would be the equivalent of me or you seeing somebody juggling knives on the corner. Like, they're like, what? Look at that guy. He's smoking. Oh, my God, what's wrong with him? Like, I love the fact that that's what they're growing up with. But we didn't grow up with that.
No, not at all. And can you believe when I was at Outback, smoking or none? Imagine now it being enough that there was a smoking section 20 feet away.
Yeah.
If there was a smoking section in a restaurant 20 feet from you now, you'd be gagging the entire meal.
How about on a plane?
Oh, on a plane, no problem. Smoke in the back. Though.
You're in a metal tube. But you think the smoke is new?
No, but smoke in the back. That was always a thing, I think. If you be polite, go stand in the back.
But the smoke wasn't going to get to you on the plane?
It doesn't make sense.
What kind of filtration system is that? That's pretty good for back that time. I think the last time I was on a plane that actually had an ashtray was like 2006. If you're on a plane that's got an ashtray in your seat,
that's an old.
See if
Stop
you can book
flying
Frontier. Sprint or Spirit. 1-800-919-3776. We'll take more of your calls. We've got ENN coming up at 6 o'clock. 6:30. We've got the Mets and the Cubs. It's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg here on ESPN New York.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
I've waited a lifetime for this.
It's happening, Knicks fans. It's happening.
I'm now living the dream.
And a team that will live forever. Next stop, the Canyon of Heroes. The New York Knicks are NBA champions.
Champions.
DiPietro and Rothenberg. Morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
When care matters most, experience matters more. The Allure Group is redefining rehabilitation and long-term care across New York with 6 convenient locations. Their expert clinicians create personalized care plans to help you recover, rebuild, and get back to what matters most. From short-term rehab to long-term care, Allure is committed to comfort, dignity, and results. To learn more, visit allurecare.com. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, and I know how a serious accident can change your life just like that.
I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and I understand that with pain comes medical bills and time out of work. Let us get you justice.
This is John Ryan, the closer. For over 35 years, our family has been getting accident victims every dollar they deserve.
I started this firm for the injured so they can bite back against the insurance companies.
Our legacy is to get you justice. Bite back.
To get you paid. Bite back.
At D'Agostino & Associates, bite back means fight back. When you're hurt and they blame you, we bite back and get you every dollar you deserve. We have offices throughout New York and New Jersey, so call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. 1-800-248-3222. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
We are moving now.
Electric bikes are everywhere. They are quiet and very fast. Teens ride them on the roads, in bike lanes, but also in places they should not be, like sidewalks and parks.
Look out!
When you ride, wear a helmet. Don't speed. Watch out for pedestrians and cars. New York State and your community have specific rules for electric bikes. Follow them. Go to trafficsafety.ny.gov for more info. A message brought to you by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Big events are bringing more riders across the region. So if you're taking New Jersey Transit for everyday trips, plan ahead. Check schedules, allow extra time, and consider traveling outside of peak hours when you can. New Jersey Transit is running additional service to help keep everyone moving. But a little planning goes a long way. Stay aware, be courteous, and ride smart. New Jersey Transit, keeping your day on track. Plan your trip at njtransit.com.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
And now it's time for traffic. Here's Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. We've got the Mets home tonight over at CDE Field, and it's a stop-and-go ride at the Whitestone Bridge heading into Queens from the Bronx side. After that, looking pretty good on the expressway southbound, heading over to the stadium and Northern Boulevard. But if you're making your way onto the southbound Van Wyck, slow crawl there because of a crash on the ramp to the westbound LIE. Heading over to the outbound George, all of your approach is pretty slow, aside from the Henry Hudson. Cross Bronx westbound, slam from the Bruckner on through. Inbound George, no big delays for both the upper and lower decks. Outbound Lincoln Arnie about 15 to 20. Outbound Holland 20 to 30. Over in Jersey, still have this issue on the turnpike southbound in the truck lanes. Broken down tractor trailer in the center lane by the Goethals Bridge. This report is sponsored by America 250. To celebrate America's 250th anniversary, they're coming together coast to coast. Get involved, visit america250.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
The ESPN New York Beach Bash is back Thursday, July 2nd at Bar A in Lake Como, New Jersey. Head down to the Jersey Shore. Join the Michael K. Show and us live starting at 1 p.m. and an appearance by DiPietro Rothenberg, Bart Carlin, and more. We'll have plenty of giveaways for fans in attendance, a soccer watch party, and a chance to test your skills by trying to kick a soccer ball past Rick DiPietro. Plus music from Surfing for Daisy. They'll be playing an hour before, and they'll be playing after the show. And I've picked the song. Now, I've been listening to it nonstop just so that I can get the whole rhythm of it. And they also sent me video, Peter, of them performing the song so I know how they do it. And the only hint I'll give you, the song was released in 1969. I believe this will be the oldest song that I've done in my repertoire.
I'm thinking Beatles.
Well, listen and find out, or be there and find out. Well, you got to be there anyway. It's all brought to you by Spike Dade, Boost
You don't know.
Mobile, Miller Lite.
You really don't.
It says it right here. Fanatics Fest NYC and the New Jersey Lottery must be at least 21 years of age to enter. So I saw Scopin. Jeff Scopin says he's going. Everybody's going to the Beach Bash. All right, let's hear from you.
It's all happening.
Myriad of topics on the table. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go back to the busy phones, and let's talk to Jake in Jupiter, Florida. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Jake?
What's up, guys? How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I was calling earlier to talk to Michael K, but I'm happy to talk to you guys, too.
Cool. Thank you.
If you talk to Michael, tell him Jake from Jupiter. I really appreciate him. I look forward to listening to his broadcast every day when he gets to talk for the Yankees.
We love Michael.
That's what I was originally calling, to talk about the Yankees. You guys down to talk about the Yanks?
Sure, go ahead.
Go for it.
So the most recent thing that came out was Jazz of the Lollipop. Obviously, kind of I think it's kind of unprofessional. I think it's also kind of dangerous. I don't love it. I think if he was in the dugout, it would be fine. I don't think there's
I
any
certainly hope so.
room for that on the field. And
Right.
yeah, I don't think there's any room for on the field. I think my other biggest issue with them right now, I'd love to see Boone get a little bit stricter with his players and his playing time with these guys. We had some injuries, but we're experiencing trying to keep Cabby in the lineup, which I want to keep Cabby in the lineup, but I think he belongs at shortstop versus going in the outfield. And I think last night was a perfect example. They are so focused, MLB especially, on the analytical side of things. It really should have been Spencer Jones in left field facing a lefty. Eventually, these guys have to get good at facing lefties, and there's only one way to do that, and that's through experience. So I'd love to see Spencer stay in left field, be able to go against a lefty in the MLB, and have Cabby back at shortstop. I think Cabby and Jazz have amazing chemistry between each other. I've been watching all these games, and it gets frustrating. All of a sudden, they bring up Volpe, who I'm not the biggest fan of. I think he has this favorite child thing. It's this whole New Jersey story with you grew up a Yankees fan. That's great. That's awesome.
I don't
nice
think it's
kid,
that.
really
I think they're
is.
just committed to a kid that they think has a load of potential, and they want to try to make this work. But as you answered your own question with the analytics, lefties versus lefties. If I give him experience facing lefties, well, then I'm going against the analytics of making sure that I have got a righty there. I'd like Jones because I think there may be potential there, but are they as married to Jones, who's 25 years old and finally getting his first experience in the major leagues, as opposed to a Volpe who's been here a while and they're obviously committed to try to make it work at shortstop. And I was so nice not to have to talk about the analytics during the Knicks run, but again, it's not all about what Boone wants. This is organizational. How much a guy plays, where he plays, this is all discussed by everybody, Cashman on down. So, Boone does this, Boone does that, Boone gets married to this. No, it's not Boone, it's everybody. It's the Yankees. Boone's on board for sure, but this is all discussed ahead of time, way ahead of time. That's why they don't believe in hot. They don't believe in clutch. They've got it panned out for the next 2 weeks, who's going to play where and who's going to play against what pitcher and all that. So I understand you're making sense, but it's just kind of where the Yankees have always had it. And I can't beat up on the Yankees right now when two of their best offensive players are on the shelf. They're going to struggle offensively without Stanton and Judge. It's a miracle they were winning the games that they were winning at the clip they were winning. Well, they win 7 out of 8 at one point with Judge out of the lineup, Stanton out of the lineup.
That's right.
But eventually it's going to catch up with you when you've got a team that's built around the home run and guys not getting it done. So it's going to take a while for them to find their legs with these guys out. You got to try to get them back sooner than later. Looks like Stanton's obviously a lot closer than Judge, but they're not going to miss the playoffs. I still think they're going to win the division. And as long as you get these guys back in time for the postseason, I really don't see a threat. This team should be able to go to the World Series. Now, whether they can win it, we'll have to wait and see. But right now, you're judging a baseball team with two of their best players not playing. It's not fair. Let's go to Spike in St. Pete. Always good to talk to him. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Spike?
I will be there in August.
We didn't lose him, did we?
No.
All that time on hold, and we've just lost Spike.
Come
you
on,
there?
Spike.
Oh, no.
Come on, man. What in the Zach Zarba's going on?
Well, we got plenty of time in the segment. Hopefully you'll be able to call back. But it sounded like he was saying that he's going to try to be there for August 22nd for the Sasso softball. We do appreciate that. David and Elizabeth, you're on Don Hahn Rosenberg. What's up?
Oh, don't worry. I did good today.
What'd you do?
I miss you. Nah, because remember yesterday you guys went to me, and as I ran to the truck, you guys hung up. But it's my fault. So first, let's get straight into it. First and foremost, This is the first time you speak. This is the first and foremost.
Oh, no.
Hello? David, you said you were going to be better, and then you, switched your Bluetooth now. What happened?
Hello, you there?
I apologize. Wait, I apologize.
All right, let's start over again for the third time. Here we go.
Right in. Let's
third
go.
time's the charm. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Always appreciate you, gentlemen. Yes, first and foremost, champions. Feels good to say that. You know, we've been on world tours since okay, all right, we're good here. This is what I wanted to
All right, there's only so much a human being could take. And I don't want to rip and break the computer. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. Worst things in my life have happened. But this is in the top 10.
No. You know what I attribute that to? That is the fact that after all these years, we have to just admit it. While there is upside to it, Bluetooth overall is sort of a failed technology. Like it does well for the most part, but there are moments with Bluetooth where it's just doing whatever it's going to do. We haven't figured it all. It was clearly, it sounded like his phone was switching back and forth between the phone and the Bluetooth. And it's unfortunate what happened, but I hung up, David, because I needed to protect Don. That's called being a teammate, and I didn't want Don to have a heart attack right here and have a what gets lodged right here? A what claw? What's it called?
Oh, the bear claw.
A bear claw lodged right here in this region. So I wanted to protect him, so I had to hang up on him.
Well, because we've worked together long enough that
Oh, I know where we're going.
I'm about to boil. And this wouldn't have been a fun rant boil. This would have been, Meltdown City.
Yeah.
And
so we're doing the right thing, and we're protecting you.
But Spike in St. Pete is back.
Yeah, I apologize. I just dropped the phone. I will be there August 22nd. Listen,
nice.
This is a strange day for me. I've been wanting to ask Peter this since I heard the news.
Okay.
What are the Celtics doing with Jaylen Brown? Are they just having him twist in the wind? This is the third time they've offered him out, and he's a top 10 player in the league. Very, very flummoxed, as Kay would say about that. But the East has gotten, not even arguably, definitively weaker. Pat Riley's 81 years old, and I don't know what he's doing down there. I just don't understand the machinations of how these trades went down. Someone explain it to me, but I think the Knicks, they look like they're their fifth betting choice. I don't understand it at all.
Well, what I'm starting to learn about gambling, Spike, is that I think we get a little too caught up in, Vegas thinks the Heat are the third best chance of winning the Eastern Conference. They're preying on the gambler saying, they just got Giannis, let me bet on the Heat. I think they're kind of trying to draw people in. The Knicks are not favored, and getting a ton of Knicks fans. We know there's a ton of Knicks fans out there going, I'm going to bet. I really think that they're kind of suckering you in to make a bet, and I think sometimes we rely a little bit too much on them being quote-unquote experts.
Yeah, but Don, I always understood this from football betting when I bet years ago. They always let the big bettors get in early, establish the line, and then the money will balance out itself.
Yeah, and that'll happen over the summer.
Yeah, I understand OKC being a small favorite over San Antonio. The West was arguably had the better teams, didn't prove out that way. Knicks won 14 out of 15 and raised the spirit of New York City like something I never saw in my life. And I've been around a long, long time. I just don't quite understand it because it makes no sense. I don't understand Brad Stevens either. He's a genius at making trades. And he got rid of all those players, and a miraculous thing happened with Joe Mazzulla, who on one hand brought the team to unheralded heights and then all of a sudden kept shooting threes.
Yeah.
He won with it, and now he lost. I don't understand the whole thing. I'm happy about it. And this Apron thing, I don't sell restaurant supplies. People don't understand that you only have to stay out of it for 2 years out of the 5. So the Knicks can sign everybody because they have bird rights on Mitchell Robinson.
Right.
They're going to bring this entire team back. They're going to trade their first pick tonight. Mark my words, it's $3.4 million off the cap.
Yeah, that's important.
Under the Aprons. Peter, talk to me. Why did he do this with Boston?
I can't explain because I don't know and I don't like it. I believe Don kind of got to it earlier, Spike, which is that
I didn't hear it.
Well, he basically the logic may be we no longer have Horford. We no longer have Drew Holiday. We no longer have Porzingis.
Okay.
All right. We're not going to be able to get close enough with what we have unless not just size and other talent. We're not going to be able to get back unless we trade one of the big dogs.
Yeah.
And I guess that's how they see it, because why otherwise would you want to reset? You'd think if you could, you just keep Jaylen Brown and Tatum at the core and you go fill in the other spots. They obviously think they're too far away.
No, if Wendy's right about that they felt like they would have gotten boat raced by the Knicks, what they're telling you is presently constituted, they're not close to the Knicks. And if they want to get close to the Knicks, it's not little tiny pieces here or there. It's catastrophic change. And that means trading one of your big two. And you're not trading Tatum. So Brown becomes the guy that you trade. And then you get a haul back to reconstruct your team. That's what you're looking at. That's why Boston's not the threat. Because they've got to reconstruct their team in their own mind in order to compete with the Knicks. So that, to me, that checks the box there. Miami just made a deal. They're going to be relying on picks later on. Hey, give Pat Riley credit, man. Like, Pat Riley wants this team to be competitive after he's decided not to do this anymore. He's 81 years old, and I hope he lives till he's 100, but he's not going to be the president of basketball operations forever. I mean, but are they going to be, is he going to be around the Miami Heat when they're picking in 2031 and 2033? No, but he wants to make sure that after he's gone, this team is still wildly competitive. But it's probably going to come at the expense of the immediate, which is next year. So check the Heat off. Indiana, to me, and Detroit are the two concerns. Is Detroit ready to take the next step? And you know how well they played the Knicks during the course of the year. And Indiana, who came within a whisker of winning the whole thing last year, is getting Halliburton back. But as far as Boston, Miami, Milwaukee now since the trade, Orlando, who am I missing? Atlanta? No. The Knicks are at the top of the heap. To me, the biggest wall standing between the Knicks and a repeat is the West. Barring anything catastrophic, injury, things unforeseen, the Knicks, to me, should be the favorite to go back to the finals. And you should be taking on a Spurs team that maybe learned from the loss, or a Thunder team that's hungry to get back to their championship ways. That could be, to me, their biggest obstacle. But, hey, it's only June 23rd. We got a long, long way to go. Last call, crew, 1-800-919-3776. Then it's ENN, and then we hand it off to the Mets and the Cubs at the bottom of the 6 o'clock hour. Don Hahn, Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
This is the Michael K. Show.
All the genius that we thought that David Stearns was, right? Maybe, just maybe, it wasn't him with Milwaukee, because they haven't skipped a beat without him. At some point, when does he get blamed? Because now I think there's going to be a lot of spotlight on the Mets and how bad they are, because there's no Knicks to distract you. The Mets are a terribly put together team.
The Michael K. Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
This is Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York.
Giannis is walking into Miami to play in South Beach.
This is a great day for the Knicks. Him ending up in Miami as opposed to Boston, God bless you. Who's shooting for them right now? This is a best-case scenario for the Knicks.
To me, that still doesn't put them above the Knicks. It doesn't put them above the Pistons. It doesn't put them above Boston. It doesn't put them above the Indiana Pacers.
Bart Scott, Chris Carlin, weekdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
The 2026 U.S. Open Tennis Championships are back, where the world's greatest city meets the world's greatest tennis players. Fan Week begins August 23rd. Experience the Mixed Doubles Championship on the 25th and 26th. And the U.S. Open Singles Championship starts Sunday, August 30th. All tickets on sale now at usopen.org. The U.S. Open. Spectacular awaits.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
I've waited a lifetime for this.
It's happening, Knicks fans. It's happening.
I'm now living the dream.
And a team that will live forever. Next stop, the Canyon of Heroes. The New York Knicks are NBA champions.
Champions.
DiPietro and Rothenberg. Morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Couple of trades in the NHL as they are on the eve of their draft coming up on Friday.
She loves.
San Jose Sharks have acquired the 9th overall pick from Ottawa as part of a William Eklund deal. He's a good 23-year-old left winger, a kid kind of coming into his own, but still hasn't quite gotten there yet. He had 53 points last year. But the other one, this according to Pierre LeBrun, Elliot Friedman, is mentioning that Jordan Kyrou got traded to the Washington Capitals. So that strengthens the team in the Metropolitan Division. And I don't know if Peter's going to touch on this in ENN. While I was talking about the hockey, about the NHL looking to expand at least to a 33rd team, and they're deciding between Houston and Austin. Now, I think somebody put out a list of the biggest market in the United States that didn't have a professional sports franchise. And I think Austin was at or near the top of that list. So Houston seems like the logical place. They had the Arrows back there in the WHA. Gordie Howe played there, but that was, 50 years ago. So Houston, huge population. I think it's in the top 10 population-wise. And then give a rival to Dallas in Texas. But Austin's interesting, Peter. If, the NHL trying to get into an untapped market, but I've heard nothing but good things. Big college town, but Austin's really interesting. I have heard nothing but amazing things about Austin.
I've never been?
I've been to Houston.
By the way, I think Houston's underrated too. I'm a fan.
But I guess because they have the Astros and they have the Texans and they have the Rockets, like, do I want to be the fourth team in that market, or do I want to tap in and be the first team in the market? Like, that was the logic by putting the Blue Jackets in Columbus, because Columbus was the biggest market without a professional team, and they've done well. The Devils had a game. It was New Year's Eve in Columbus, the same night that Ohio State had a playoff game, and they still filled the building. So Austin's interesting. I always thought Houston would be the place, but
let's see that this is why I give you a hard time about you not going on enough trips, Don. Because unless they get a hockey team, you're never going to see Austin, and you deserve to.
Thank you.
You should go see. You should go have some barbecue. You should go out onto whatchamacallit Street and see all the 20-year-old girls getting in fights. There's so much to do.
So you're telling me how great the city is, and
Sure.
number 2 on your list of reasons was college girls getting into fights?
Well, that's only if you're lucky.
All right.
I mean, I've been during South by Southwest. I've seen it all.
Oh, let's go to Alex in Limbrook. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Alex?
Oh, hi, Don. Is it Steppenwolf's Born to Be Wild, the song you're going to perform?
No. That's a good guess, though.
Okay.
But that's not what I'm performing.
Maybe you do that at your encore. Peter, you should do. You should open the show with the knock, knock, knock on heaven's door. I think you'd be good at it.
Wow.
But anyway, my question is, I'm curious what you guys would do. I'll hang up and listen to it. Which would be the next 3 teams most important to you that you want to see a championship?
3 teams that are most important to us that we'd want to see a championship?
Yeah, like mine would be Jets, Rangers, and Mets. Like Knicks is 1. So which 3 teams would you like?
Well, that's
for them to win the championship.
Well, I mean, easy for because I guess those are the teams that you're a fan of. I mean, I'm a fan of the Giants, the Mets, and the Devils. So I would probably, because I'm working with the Devils, I that would be my team. And then the Mets, it's been 40 years, and then the Jets.
40.
Even though I'm a Giant fan, how could you not want to see the Jets end this streak, Peter?
You would. I mean, it's
they won Super Bowl 3. This next Super Bowl is going to be Super Bowl 61.
Oh yeah.
And they're not winning the Super Bowl this year. And probably not the next year because they don't have a quarterback. So Peter, it's going to be 60 years.
Yeah.
It's still not the Cubs, but it's adjacent. You're getting like 60 years, man. Which means if you were a 20-year-old, you're an 80-year-old man. That's putting the Rangers at 54 years and the Knicks at 53 years to shame at this point.
I got to tell you, that's why when we hear from the IRAs, and hey guys, I just hope this year, blah blah. I just, in one sense, I'm impressed with the commitment, and in the other sense, I just think like, man, what did you do? What did you do?
I got to tell you, and
what if you never get it, Don? What if you never get it?
Now, you were talking about the biggest championships, and the Cubs are clearly the biggest. 40 million people watched Game 7 against the Indians back in 2016. But incredible numbers for the Knicks. But how big football is and how long the Jets have gone. And they're not bereft of celebrity fans either, the Jets. If the Jets ever won a Super Bowl, man, it would be big. Maybe it would. Maybe the island of Manhattan wouldn't react the way they did to the Knicks, because I think the Knicks are way bigger than the Jets, like on the island itself. Because basketball is a city game, and the Knicks play at the Garden, so there was a central place for everybody to kind of get together. but with how big football, even though the Giants are bigger, that we're going on 60 years the last time the Jets have won, and they haven't been to a Super Bowl. They didn't even go back to a Super Bowl. At least the Knicks went to the finals in 94. They went to the finals in 99. It would be big. Let's go to Mark in the car. You're on ESPN New York.
What's up, guys? Love your show.
Thanks, buddy.
You guys kicked the other guys on the WFAN.
I totally agree.
We're trying.
Just wanted to make a. Yeah. You guys are great.
Thank
Just
you,
wanted
man.
to make a point on the reffing. I know I'm late, but I just wanted to wait for the celebration and then after, talk about the reffing in the NBA. I feel like the reffing in the NBA, in the beginning, the referees let them play much more physical, and then towards the end of the series, they got much tighter. I always wonder, why didn't the NBA ever let them make one crew for each series?
Well,
and then that crew, because every crew at the end of the day, refs, some people more physical, some people ref less physical, and then to this way the player just got more used to the refs.
It's been a conversation. We had the conversation during the finals of why can't you just have a uniform, the same officials for every game? And apparently the negative of that, players have told me this in hockey too, is that now the bias can come in. Like, what if you end up getting a refereeing crew that you had a losing record against during the regular season, or for just whatever reason your style was kind of against the way they officiate, and then they don't change? I think they want to change it up so that style doesn't be the reason why a team loses or wins a series. But I get where you're at, man. It kind of makes a little sense that maybe if you just kept it uniform, but apparently in all the sports they feel like that's a bad idea. Ryan in Houston, you're on ESPN New York.
Yeah, hey guys. New Yorker living in Houston for the last 20 years. I just wanted to chime in real quick on the expansion. I'm a Ranger fan. Houston makes more sense. I know you mentioned the 3 teams already here, but you've got an owner in the Rockets, owner Fertitta, who wants it.
Okay.
They've got the stadium that they could play in for, a couple of years. But you've got a huge Canadian population down here that's in the oil and gas business.
Okay, I didn't realize
and you've got a ton of transplants from the Midwest and the Northeast. My entire street is, people who grew up in hockey towns or near hockey towns. Now, if you go to a game in Houston in a couple of years, it's going to be like going to a game in Vegas, where half the stadium is going to be the visiting team. But it makes more sense in Houston. Everybody who's moved to Austin, that's grown that city, the population has outpaced the infrastructure. It's a complete mess traffic-wise, and everybody's from out west. And I just don't think you're going to get the fan base there from that West Coast.
It has gotten weird in that way.
It is interesting what you say, Ryan, and I would bet Houston would get it over Austin, just based on some of the things that Gary Bettman was saying. I always felt like Houston would be a destination for sure, and then I guess the next expansion to even things up would be in the East, whether it be Quebec City or something like that. But I think Houston's going to end up becoming a 4-sports town, and why not? If they're in the top 10 population, and you're talking about how many Canadians are there and Northeasterners that live in Houston right now, makes perfect sense. Great sports town. Never been to Austin, but Houston seems to me, based on everything you said, and the size of the city, probably makes the most sense. ENN coming up next.
Like a dream.
Don Hahn and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
When care matters most, experience matters more. The Allure Group is redefining rehabilitation and long-term care across New York with 6 convenient locations. Their expert clinicians create personalized care plans to help you recover, rebuild, and get back to what matters most. From short-term rehab to long-term care, Allure is committed to comfort, dignity, and results. To learn more, visit allurecare.com. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. At Rings End, they're there to help realize your modern design visions. That's why they partner with Marvin. Engineered for big ideas, Marvin modern windows and doors deliver effortless elegance, expansive views, and industry-leading innovation, all in a modular system designed to meet the exacting principles of modern architecture. Experience Marvin Modern at a Rings End showroom today and create something stunning with them. Rings End is a certified Marvin installing retailer.
Hey, New York, are you okay to drive? No, really.
Did you know just one drink can lower your inhibitions, slow reaction times, and reduce coordination? That single drink causes your judgment to be altered and makes it harder to track moving objects. The risk you take by getting behind the wheel is not worth your life or anyone else's. Call a cab.
Hey, I'm looking for a cab.
A ride share, a sober friend, or take public transit. The New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee is reminding you to always drive sober.
Hey, Yankees fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Monday, July 20th, when the Yankees host the Pittsburgh Pirates, and be ready to receive a traditional Yankees giveaway. It's Yankees T-shirt night, presented by Sato. The first 15,000 guests will receive a Yankees T-shirt. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. Again, don't miss the Yankees and Pirates for Yankees T-shirt night presented by Sato on Monday, July 20th. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks a million, guys. I hope you have an amazing rest of the night. We've got the Mets home over at Citi Field. First pitch just a little over an hour away. Definitely your worst ride into Queens. Triborough Bridge, all because of a crash on the BQE Western leg in the left lane by 31st Avenue. Slow crawl there on the Bronx and Manhattan legs. Just a little bit bunched up, heading across the Upper East River at the Whitestone Bridge from the Bronx side. Expressway southbound keeps you sluggish, heading over to the stadium and Northern Boulevard. NBA draft tonight at the Barclays in Brooklyn. Your typical slowdowns on the BQE heading over to Atlantic Avenue. Especially tough, though, on the inbound Gowanus. It's a stall in the center lane by 39th. That is you jammed heading over to the BQE from Fort Hamilton Parkway. All of your approaches, the outbound George, are packed. Cross Bronx westbound, solid from the Bruckner on through. Inbound George, just about 5 to 10 for the upper deck. Outbound Lincoln Orania 15 to 20. Outbound Holland close to a half hour. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Congratulations to the New York Knicks. They are the 2026 NBA champions. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. This is an ENN special report. Now reporting.
The very handsome Jewish man, Peter Rosenberg.
We should talk some sports. Do what you want. It's ENN.
Peter Rosenberg!
Hi, everyone. How you doing?
No.
Welcome to ENN.
Ray Rowe.
You ever watch YouTube?
Brought to you by Fanatics Fest NYC. You know Fanatics Fest is back at the Javits Center July 16th and 19th. You got Jaylen Brunson, familiar?
Yes.
Karl-Anthony Towns?
Yes.
Josh Hart?
Yes.
Mikal Bridges?
Yes.
Mitch Robinson?
Sure.
Landry Shamet?
Uh-huh.
They're all going to be there, and hundreds more.
You don't know that.
It's the world's largest sports fan festival. Tickets available now, fanaticsfest.com. Good evening, Don.
Shimon Nemitz has just been traded to the Calgary Flames according to
Shimon.
Shimon. That was it.
She loves. Get her. She loves. Get her.
I'm always going to find that funny. I'm always going to find that funny.
Good evening, Don.
All of a sudden, I swallow a little bit, and I'm gagging. Hey.
You know what? You got to own it.
Not something that...
She loves. Get her.
You can believe me or not, whatever. I was not speaking from experience.
You take a few sucks, and then you kind of bite the whole thing off and say, let's move on now.
You know what?
You know what? None of that was none of that was forced. And as England and Ghana, I'm sorry, what an exciting game on paper. And I didn't watch it enough to know whether or not it was really a well-played game, but 0-0 the final. It's what you hate about the round robin in the first part of the tournament is that you can just get a 0. You have these two, England is England, for God's sake. But, Ghana's Ghana, for God's sake.
I'm not being judgmental, but it's either 0-0, 1-0, or 6-0. Like, do we ever get like a 5-4 game?
It's rare. A 5-4 is rare.
Because who did Canada beat over the weekend, like 6-0?
You get that? You got Portugal a 5-0 today.
Yeah.
America had a 4-1.
So you'll see blowouts.
You rarely see a 5-4. I'm not even going to hold you. Let me say good evening to myself again. You take a few sucks, and then you kind of bite the whole thing off and say, let's move on now.
That's not going to get a call back.
Good evening to Spike.
Spike in St. Pete is back.
Yeah, I apologize. I just dropped the phone.
It's so old man. And I mean that affectionately, but like if we were to take a consensus on what happened to Spike, we would say he probably dropped the phone. And then he'd say, I dropped the phone.
It's just, you're having a moment. The phone's down. The other day I had a moment where I had I have a bad habit of sometimes watching the TV in the shower. I'll try to set up the phone somewhere. I got the wrestling on or the soccer or whatever it is. Porn.
Do we trust front office sports?
Yes.
242.8.
You don't have to tell me how many.
I would say that they're reputable.
You don't have to. You don't have to give us the followers. They're legitimate.
Tim Bontemps.
Foss even.
You're familiar with his work.
Yeah, I know where you're going to.
There's advanced talks to join the Atlanta Hawks front office.
By the way, is Bontemps? Is there anything like? Was he anything prior to being a reporter and journalist on the NBA?
I don't know. From Buffalo or Western New York. We have to ask Alan that question. Let's see.
I say that you can take this however you want. As Don, you can take this as either a compliment or an insult or both. He has the personality to be a front office guy. That make sense?
And if you wanted to tell me that you didn't mean that as a disrespect,
yeah, I don't.
Then I would believe you.
Yeah, I don't mean it as disrespect.
Because I would say
his demeanor.
I get that vibe.
His demeanor is I both liked him and enjoyed him on the show, and he comes off as very self-assured in everything he says.
Yeah,
to you.
and
it's like that's just a fact.
We have front office people that are entertaining as guests,
sure.
Right?
It happens.
But no, he definitely gave the vibe of I could do this.
There is a specific. Let me just say something.
Say it.
I'm going to tap into something real deep right now.
Let's see.
There is something to the basketball expert on radio or podcast that is different and more pompous than every other expert in every other sport. And I say this lovingly because I love a lot of them. I really like. Some I don't know. But let's hear me out here. Bontemps. Windhorse, Russillo, Lowe, Simmons. I can keep going here. They all have a certain way about them that is like, A, they are probably smarter than a lot of other people in sports. Like, it does happen to be a smart crowd that gravitates towards it. And they're in love with the way that they do basketball. Like, they love the very nerdy inside baseball way they do basketball. And it creates a very specific sort of personality. And I know it very well because, as you remember, I used to be quite close with Russillo when I used to do a show with him all the time. We were very tight. I know their way. And it's either you either get it or you don't. I'm actually sort of in the middle in that I respect the hell out of them, and I find some of them very good, but also I do not want to sit around listening to like a, cap hit, super, super nerdy breakdown of basketball. Mm-hmm. It's not my cup of tea. I don't really have any, there's really no sport I want that breakdown in. Probably not shocking to people who hear the way that I break down sports. But do you know what I'm saying about the basketball crowd specifically? And Bontemps is very much that.
Yeah.
Like, very smart and knows it, but is also really good at it. And if you're into it, you're into it.
Well, here's an observation. I agree with you, and we've seen a lot of those, not a lot, but we've seen a few crossover to executive positions in the NBA because of how knowledgeable they are. And I don't mean this as an insult. I think it's a fact. I think when you talk to baseball people that cover the game, they have that certitude that they know the game. But yet we don't see the crossover.
Right. I think that's right.
Interesting.
It's a unique thing. So maybe Bontemps to a front office makes sense.
I just wish it was a team that we cared about and could have him on again. I can't imagine we'd have him on for the Atlanta Hawks unless the Hawks
to talk Hawks.
Well, maybe if they play them in the playoffs. He was good. I'll miss him.
All right, let's move on, shall we? So we haven't really spent much time on this, but it's not exactly ideal. New York Jets quarterback Geno Smith is being investigated for an incident in which a woman accused him of battery. That's according to police in Florida, one day after indicating the matter was closed. Officers were summoned to Smith's home Sunday afternoon when a woman claiming to be his ex-girlfriend called 911 and said he was assaulting her. She posted a video of the dispute, saying on camera that he ran outside and attacked me. Now, I can say after seeing the video, I don't know what's going on there. He didn't appear to be out of control in the video in any way, but who knows? We only know what's on the video. No one was arrested at the scene. Monday, they said it's not an active case, but now apparently it is.
Well, it sounds like there's more to it than just the video, I guess, right?
The California Post obtained audio of the 9/11 call. By the way, what is this California Post? Did you see that?
No.
The New York Post has started the California Post. And now when you go to the New York Post website, like you can toggle between California Post, both huge piles of crap, but, you know, depending on what area they particularly focus on.
So the whole state?
Yeah, that's the thing also. How is it called the California? Like it doesn't make sense.
It's there was the LA Times.
No, it's the California Post. It's yo-yo is what it is.
What about Sports Porched? We don't want to do that, right?
No.
That'd be bad.
That one's not real. Or Sports Pickle.
Right.
California Post obtained the audio of the call, and the woman says, was tearful and told the 9/11 dispatcher, my ex-boyfriend just beat me up. Geno has not yet publicly responded, and the Jets have not commented. I will step out here, though, and this is because I'm the kind of edgy broadcaster that you've come to know and love in New York's number one market.
Sure.
So I'm going to step out on the ledge, as I'm apt to do, and say, at this exact moment in time, this is not what you want.
No. Absolutely.
Regardless of what it ends up being, you know, this could be complete nonsense or it could be completely true. We have no clue. What I do know is the quarterback that you just went out and got to try to sort of just kind of keep things on track and let's just have some even leadership at the position. Let's run it back with this guy who was here for a long time. Didn't go great, but this time it's sort of turning over a new leaf and starting anew. This is not the start you're looking for in any way.
No, and hopefully it's nothing, but we're going to see. I think it's just look at the video. They got to investigate. They got to do their due diligence. Take everything seriously, and hopefully it won't affect the season. But hopefully he didn't do anything.
No supplemental draft there, Don. All the big talk about Brendan Sorsby. Well, he won't be in the NFL this year. The NFL's decision came down to its right to decide whether to hold a supplemental draft per the collective bargaining agreement. As league officials said, they believed it would ultimately become a distraction to teams as they begin training camps. His application carries with it a lot of issues. Core of the game integrity issues, a source said. Now, of course, Sorsby admitted to betting thousands of times on college and pro sports to the tune of $90,000 plus, including 40 wagers on Indiana football while he was on the team, folks.
Right. And all that led to is a 2-game suspension.
Which is just...
And I know the hypocrisy of, oh, my God, the NFL now all of a sudden finds religion, even though they're in bed with all these gambling apps and they have the spreads and you're forced to give the injury report for the gamblers early enough, otherwise you'll get fined as a team. Peter, what is the NFL supposed to do? So to add to the lack of punishment. Now you get to pivot to the NFL. So because of your impropriety, and as legal as sports gambling is, doesn't mean players are allowed to do it. And he deserved more than a 2-game suspension. Does it seem right to you that he could do this and him getting away with it means he gets to be an NFL player?
Right away.
So good for the NFL, and I don't think it's hypocrisy. You've got to be able to keep this gambling at arm's length. They make money from it, I understand it. But once players cross that line, man, and you've seen NFL players can't even bet on baseball at the facility. Never mind football. They can't even bet on other things at the facility. You've got to be able to keep this at arm's length. And you can't have somebody bet on football as a college football player, and all he gets is a 2-game suspension, which then allows him to pivot away from college football and go right to the NFL and be a quarterback of an NFL team and actually gain something from it. So good for the NFL. I don't see the hypocrisy. I get why you do, not you, Peter, but the general public, because it's so easy to say hypocrites. You can't allow these players to do this.
Yeah, you can. It doesn't make sense. You know what I realized from this whole conversation, guys? This is me just being overly honest. I probably shouldn't say it.
Okay.
I obviously don't really understand what the supplemental draft is. I clearly you guys, you know what? You can tell me.
It's how the Giants got Dave Brown.
And
guys that didn't declare for the draft.
Right.
For whatever reason. Ineligibility, eligibility, or otherwise. That now feel like it would be better for them to declare for the NFL. There could be a supplemental draft that the NFL could say we're going to have because there's enough players or a player that we think is worth it enough that wants to be a part of the league next year.
And then once you file in, you bid on what pick you'll forfeit in the upcoming draft to take it. In the Giants' case back in 92, I think it was, they took Dave Brown and lost the first-round pick.
So, but it's based on the player that's it's like only comes up if
somebody declares.
So
it's not like the guys that didn't make it, Peter, in the draft are like, well, I'd like to be part of the supplemental draft now. It's like, no, that's not how this.
It's somebody
works.
that wasn't eligible that then becomes eligible for whatever reason. And if the NFL decides there's enough of them to have one, I don't think they. What is it?
So in this case,
they haven't had one for like 7 years.
No, it's very rare.
So Sorsby would be enough? Him just deciding on his own?
Yeah, it would be a draft of one player.
Yeah.
And what happens, Peter, is everybody in the order of which the draft was can bid, and obviously the bids go in an order, but what happens is...
You then lose your next year's pick.
Well, you don't know what everybody else is bidding. So if you want the guy, you better have the highest bid. So if you think that he's only worth a second-round pick, but somebody offers a first, if you picked ahead or you had a higher selection, you don't get him.
Can I say something else?
You're good on this completely.
It is what you just described is the most yo-yo thing. Well, I mean, Michael's sitting here asking about why the clock's running in soccer. That just sounds like the most arbitrary yo-yo-ness I've ever heard.
It's legitimately the way that if you've ever done a fantasy draft with auctioning, that's how they do it.
Well, there was a key word you included in there.
I'm just saying, people that might know how that works, it's in their way.
I get it.
Let me ask you this. So in all fairness, if it was something other than the gambling, I can't think of an example, but if there was an example where he was not eligible for the draft, but then all of a sudden becomes eligible to be drafted, would it be fair for him to have to wait until April of 27 where he can have an avenue to go through it here? And if he's a good enough player, shouldn't there be some avenue for him to get into the NFL? So you have the supplemental draft. It's very rare. It doesn't happen very often. And the reason it's not happening here is because of the gambling stuff. But if this was for some other reason that wasn't illegal, shouldn't they have it? Or are you going to make him wait until next year?
No, it makes sense in that way. It just seems like, I guess you know what I think? You'd have to wait. I would just think you have to wait. That's how it is.
All right.
I would think you have to wait or you have to go try out for teams. I don't know. It just feels so arbitrary.
I think with all this eligibility now, you're going to see it a lot more. This eligibility debate, you're going to see it a lot more now. Guys trying to get one more year out of the NFL, out of the NCAA, them getting denied, and then going, well, guess what? Now I want to be part of the supplemental draft because I'm going to go to the league.
All right, let's move on.
Yes, shall
Past
we?
the Sorsby of it all, back to Atlanta sports. You'll be happy to know Kyle Pitts Sr. and the Falcons have reached a 3-year, $54 million contract. So the tight end will be locked up into Atlanta for the next few years. Don, the Oilers have signed Mike Babcock.
Back in the league after he never got to coach the Columbus Blue Jackets.
She loves.
Great coach. Went to the finals with Anaheim, won cups in Detroit. Didn't really do anything in Toronto, but really, who has?
Yeah, you can't blame him for that.
Paul Maurice is looked upon as the gold standard of coaches in the NHL. He couldn't win in Toronto.
Here's a little more NFL. Here's Mac Jones talking about his potential future in San Francisco.
I think this is my number one question that I've been asked. And look, I love John. I love Kyle, the York family. Like, it's the best organization I feel like that I've played for in terms of just top to bottom greatness so far. And I don't like leaving good people. And I hope they enjoy having me there. And I'm excited for this year, to be honest. And a lot of that was off-season talk, and anything's possible, right? I mean, the trade deadline's not until a little bit through the season, but I try not to keep up with it. And I really just want to keep getting better. Like you said, I did play decent last year. I think I can play a lot better, which is what I'm striving to do this summer, is improve on my technique and see if that helps me and elevates me to get, a big deal or something in the future. But I always say be where your feet are, and my feet are in San Francisco, and I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. We'll have fun there. I don't see it. Do you?
What do you mean? See what part?
Mac Jones.
No, I haven't seen it.
Well, I know I haven't seen it. Will we see it? I don't think so. But best of luck to you.
Now, I know one thing you care about, Don, is not so much the first apron, it's the second apron. Am I right?
Second apron is the one that I'm always concerned about.
The first apron, you get a clean apron, it's brand new, you put it on, you make dinner, you call it a day.
Right.
It's the second apron.
8 aprons he wasted on this guy. I got to toughen this kid up. What movie?
Goodfellas.
There you go. See? Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
I can't say I'm surprised.
Something you can be proud of.
Good job. You would have fought. How about the guys in the other? They're not even paying attention. Anthony's cutting tape. Jake's looking at the clock, wishing it would go faster.
Here's Brian Windhorst. Should the Knicks enter the second apron with Robinson?
And this is what happens sometimes when you see teams win the championship. These role players sometimes get paid. It's a part of the situation. I do think there's probably a number where if Mitch Robinson is ready to come back, that they would be able to sign him to. But I think there's also a number where they're going to walk away from. And you are correct. Being in the second apron is only penal if you need to change your roster. And this Knicks team has proven to be a championship roster. Like, if you feel good as an organization that you're going to hold your roster for next year and you're not going to entertain moving anybody, then being in the second apron, it's expensive, but it doesn't really bite unless you need to change your team. Now, the risk that you have there is you get into next year and something has changed or somebody gets hurt and you need to change your team and then you can't. And maybe that's a risk that the Knicks don't want to take.
It's a lot. But second apron. But they can pay him more because he's their guy.
Right. It's just about deciding. It's really tough because in some ways he's invaluable, and then in other ways he's unavailable, and that combination is an awkward one because you needed him. I mean, he literally had the rebound that ended the whole playoffs, and obviously what he gave you was pivotal.
But he's also had injury problems. He's had to load manage because of those injury problems. Remember, well, the big story, believe it or not, a million years ago was him not playing on opening night.
Oh, I remember.
Remember?
And it was like, here we go. God, what a long way we are from that.
It was
Doesn't it remind
the
you?
same season, but it felt like 100 years ago.
Aaron Boone, if you didn't hear us earlier, on the Jazz Lollipop situation.
I just don't think he should have had a lollipop out on the field. So nothing more, less, just wasn't a good look to me, and so that's that.
And what did you say to him?
I talked to him about it, so it should be over with.
Okay. Is it odd you have to address that with Jazz?
I was annoyed by it. I addressed it, and let's move on from it. At the end of the day, it's not that big a deal.
All right. Is it okay? This is an interesting one. Is it easy to have those conversations because you have a good relationship with Jazz?
Maybe, but I mean, just in the moment, because I didn't know about it during the game until after I was made aware of it. So it just bothered me, and it was addressed. Like, I don't think there's any ill will, or I don't think that should be part of what we're doing.
He's not happy with it. I can't blame him.
No, but your original point is right. It does, considering how safe he is with and I love Booney. It's my guy. My man, $50,000. But because of how lax he is with everyone, the seriousness to the tone, it does come off as, do you not like him anymore?
Yeah, but also, do you buy my theory that he's ultra irritated by it because he didn't see it in real time? It happened in Boston. He never noticed it. It was brought to his attention by John Boy, and now he didn't see it in the moment. This is a guy that really prides himself on knowing everything that's going on with his team, and now it's being presented to him by someone else. It would bother me. I got the pulse of the team, and I've got media people calling to my attention that my second baseman had a lollipop in his mouth, and I didn't notice. Wouldn't that irritate you?
I don't know. I've never thought about a lollipop this long. That'll do it for ENN. It's brought to you by Fanatics Fest. You guys already know it's the #1 sports fan festival. It's back at the Javits this summer. You do not want to miss it. Everyone is going to be there, including LeBron James. Enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets on the ESPN New York app. Find the contest tile to submit your entry.
This was mentioned earlier. The Wolfpack is back, and it will be back again tomorrow because Alan is going to be doing the second day of the draft. Mets baseball is next here on ESPN New York.
Partner with Amazon Hub Delivery to earn extra revenue for your business with your business. Assist with local Amazon deliveries and get paid for each package you deliver. When you become a partner, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers